Arise, minions, and welcome to unMadeGaming. We are here for the penultimate episode of Season 1 of The Void tonight. And if you've liked our journey through space, and you're already planning on coming back next week, and the final season of this, where are you going? Where do you think you're going? Rude. That's a rude cast member right there.
Wait,
anyway,
but can we space tomorrow?
We can space tomorrow. Just individually, like on our own, we can space. If you are if you are a fan of things we do here, please, we are trying to hit 30 subs here on Twitch. We're also trying to hit some Patreon numbers. If you want to do that, both links for those are down below. And if you want to chat about this game and how rude Gnome is for leaving in the middle of my introduction, you can join us in the Discord, and so which is also down below.
Sorry, I think I need to go get something, Mike. I'm just gonna...
Does that mean you need me?
Son of a bitch!
Sorry, hold on.
We're all okay. Yeah, that's fine. Bye.
Most important announcement of the night with this level
Alex,
of
you're gonna do
sass.
podcast called Hot Dice Daddies on Twitter at Hot Dice Daddies.
In the bottom, I swear to God, in the bottom right-hand corner, you will see the corruption bar. Not that we need it tonight, apparently. That bar serves two purposes. One, when that bar fills up, Dot gets to do whatever the hell she wants to us, like leave the show, I guess. And two, most importantly, every single dollar that goes into that bar goes back to these beautiful, wonderful, amazing faces that you see here before you. Anonymous, thank you for hitting that subscribe button and joining us on the subscription thing. That being said, join us for some darkness points and some corruption and some nonsense bullshit that Dot's going to throw at us. Dot, bring us back to space. Please be gentle.
Back is where you... Well, better yet, did you all decide? We are going back to Coriolis.
That's where Tamir plotted the course to, right?
Okay. So. All right. Then we're going to simply...
Is that where you put the course?
No, we're going back to Algol. I've got some unfinished business.
Great, samesies.
Oh, gosh.
Okay, let me just crack this book open.
Yikes.
Don't worry, there's exactly one page in that book about it.
It's not even a page. It's
I know.
a paragraph.
I know. It's like the last system you left that only had one paragraph.
To be fair, the Atlas. Atlas has a whole page, and the goal.
The corruption bar is so...
I love you.
What? It's been 5 minutes.
Can we get a recap first, guys? Chat, okay. Please. Could you fuck off?
We haven't even started.
Just give us... Thank you for the corruption bar. This will be fun.
Oh,
for
no,
you.
We're gonna get so fucking wrecked.
Oh, this is going to be great. I'm excited.
So last time, our valiant team finished up their time aboard the abandoned space station inside of the Taoan system. I say abandoned because there are very few bodies there, and the bodies that are there get up and walk with the shadowy dark around them. But none of that mattered because these shadowy dark figures put Sewell, into a trance, and one that sent him into a very dark place in his past, where we learned that he killed his own brother to assure that a contract was completed.
What? That's crazy.
Back in the real world, Tamir and Malik were battling these shadowy figures, and when Tamir went to check on Sewell, unfortunately took a stab to the belly.
What?
In addition, the ship returned with Tal on board, and a partially damaged but survived drone that belonged to Sewell, and a ghostly Xene figure that seems to have taken over the ship. Fine. All of this is fine. All of it's fine. They fought their way through until Tal showed up, and they managed to plot themselves a course home. But plotting things takes time, and upon boarding their vessel to return, they had a long and interesting conversation with the thing that's currently living aboard. Anybody want to remember what he told you? Do you remember anything?
Oh, that was just a Talon.
Oh, it was just a Tau. Oh, that's right. That's before you left the ship.
Yep.
That's right. You told them that it was living in your ship?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we don't know what it is, but yeah, I told them that there was something in the ship.
Great.
And that I made a deal with it.
Oh, it's right.
Because, I mean, what else do you do when there's an entity who can obviously fly your ship to the sun and drop you off if it wants to?
Yeah, who are you to say?
Yeah, exactly.
That's right. You did make a deal with a devil, possibly.
Probably.
She just flat out said devil. Yeah.
Yeah, she did.
And
Fine.
The deal is you have to just return it to Coriolis. And so you do. All of you, after what can be considered a very long and dangerous journey from this same space station, arrive back at it. The first pod opens, the captain's pod. It takes you a second to come to your bearings. You know that feeling of your skin being cold. And 2 bars. And you kind of come to, Tau, your eyes open up and you see your ship. The window kind of parts open as you come to a halt from this portal jump. And out the front, you very clearly see the Coriolis station. It is unique and cannot be missed.
Before I go wake everybody else up, I will stand there, take a couple deep breaths. Then I say, okay, so you want to go back to Coriolis, and we're about to be there. Really hope you don't fuck shit up for me or the system.
Are you talking to me?
You know what? Yeah, I am. I know. It's a surprise.
Because I will be pleased to jump ship.
Any chance you want to share what you're doing?
No.
Didn't think so.
But
all right. Well,
Coriolis is a fine place to be.
Well, if you run into my parents, please just leave them alone. They've been through enough shit.
He says it's funny you think I'm there to mess with individuals.
Oh, no, I'm pretty sure your eyes are set on a bigger picture, but I'd take it as a favor if you just went around them if you saw them.
And he says, I dare ask, what are your parents' names?
Names have power. You'll know them when you see them. They look like me.
And he says, well, little pilot has picked up a thing or two. I'm impressed. The other 3 were not as wise.
I don't make the best decisions, obviously, but I learn.
I love how offended they are.
It's great. I'm having a hard time focusing.
I don't know what to be more offended by. The stupid djinn or the stupid pilot? Jerk.
Mike's feelings are hurt.
I'm
if
not
you fill another
insulting
bar,
anybody.
I promise to continue making Mike sad.
Oh, what?
Oh,
Okay,
shit,
where's my
I gotta
wallet?
donate to
Hold
this
on.
now.
Okay, wow, rude. Thanks, team.
All right. Anyways, Feeling that conversation has probably run its course, I'll start walking to the rest of the cryotubes. And I take a moment and look at each one, and last my eyes go to Tamir's. I sigh very deeply, put my hand on the glass, say, damn, I wish you weren't leaving. And then start unlocking them.
Cha la 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 la. Kiss the girl.
We have a Xene, a ancient Xene aboard your vessel, and all Mike can think about are smooches.
Listen, it's my little brother. I'm just trying to make things happen, okay? It's, it could be his last day in space. We don't know.
So, I must be doing something right when my own cast is donating against the other cast.
Oh my God, what did you do?
Paul, you're fired.
I love you,
You're actually
Paul.
not invited back for season 2. You can't play anymore.
Oh, wow.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. Well, I got 3 bars to get through tonight, so we better get moving.
Yep.
The pods open up. Gentlemen, the same thing. It takes you a little bit to kind of come to. The more you go into cryostasis, the easier it is, but skin is still cold. And the corner of your eyes take a moment as they kind of come out of blackness to readjust to your environment around you. Tal stands there in front of you.
I will just start walking back towards the communications to start talking to them.
Are you actually going to pull into Coriolis?
Yes. We're gonna essentially I'm gonna be like, hey, we're coming into port, into dock. We're gonna take our time on it, but we're coming. So be ready.
You know that Coriolis is a busy port, and sometimes getting into oh my God, what's it called? Not the Cell. That's a whole different movie. Oh, that would be an interesting game.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Everybody, that's for a different game.
Getting into the landing bay.
Write it down before you forget
the
now.
docks. Yeah, right.
You can use Alien to run that.
The docks. Ooh. The docks. It takes time for you to. It's basically a lineup, and you feed through, and this giant machine grabs your ship and moves you in to Coriolis. So it's going to take you some time, probably about an hour before you're officially through and in.
Yeah. On my way over to the communications area, I kind of say behind me, hey, if there's anything you need to hide, make sure you hide it well and quickly. Oh, and don't touch my stuff.
Hey, real quick, did you we broadcast that we're here?
Yeah, I'm on my way to just go follow up and get everything ready.
Remind me again where your newsy friend was stationed?
That was at the Harabi system, but
they were leaving, right, to come back here.
Yeah.
So would it be unlikely that they probably have some kind of junket waiting for us, since they didn't get that interview and they know it's only been more and more time since we do what we're doing?
Well, then they'll be waiting for us when we get there.
Do we have any thoughts on how to deal with press?
You
didn't seem too reticent to have an interview. Never mind a camera jammed in your face.
Tal gulps hard on that. Yeah. Oh God, I'm gonna have to talk to somebody.
I thought you already talked to somebody.
I mean,
You
yeah,
seem
but
quite
we
nervous.
just went into a system that was dark and came back. That's newsworthy.
Don't make that face, Dot.
Well, hey, I mean, maybe it'll give you some more business. The pilot that survived the dark.
I think we need to have a very serious conversation though about what it is, what information we're going to be divulging. There are several people who we are supposed to report back to. What do we say?
Well, I am going to report back fully what we explored. And what we got back was pretty much nothing. And that data and I point to Malik that you retrieved, just transfer that over, and that's all I'm gonna do.
I don't know. I know you work in the shadows most of the time, so I don't know how often you see like a full court press of news. If they have told anybody, the entire docks are going to be swimming with people. So we're going to be pretty stuck on the docks until we answer the questions that they're going to let us through, unless...
This whole time you're talking, Tal's starting to go into hyperventilation mode.
Well, and I look around like, is there any way for me to sneak out?
Yeah, just put on your spacesuit and jump.
I'm not putting on my...
When you say sneak out, what do you mean?
Like, I'm assuming there's like, they said there's going to be a lot of press, right? Is there any way for me to like...
You don't know there's going to be a lot of press.
We don't know
I'm
press.
assuming
Oh,
that.
I thought that's what you were saying.
Malik
That's what I'm
assuming
saying,
it.
yeah. Because
Malik is assuming that.
I'm going off of what Malik said.
Okay,
so,
got it.
So if with my knowledge, knowing that there's going to be a lot of people crowding, and Saul being not a very social person, even 3 people is a little too much for him. Is there any way in his mind that he thinks he could just...
You could dock on the back side of the cellar.
Yeah, I don't know if that's going to work.
I mean, it probably works fine for you.
Tamir could get you through. He's very familiar with
Because he's a
the cellar.
criminal. Lest we forget.
So remind me, what is the cellar?
See what I did there?
It's the basement. It's like, so if here's the Coriolis, like upside down teardrop, it's the bottom of the teardrop. It's where like the poorest of the poor live, and there's illegal docks down
So
there.
we would all need to dock there and then go out that way, or is
You
that
could
just
you could pull your ship around to the cellar and dock. I would think that Tal might know, if nothing else. Tamir knows that there are some docks there, but it is heavily frowned upon to dock on the backside. It's like you're not supposed to because you're basically legally coming in, and everything that moves in via those docks in the cellar is illegal. All of it. It is the full on like black market end.
so it's gonna look bad for the ship even if it goes there, right?
Correct.
gonna look bad
And
for the
there's
ship.
It's gonna
no
track
way
it and all
that.
There's no coming back from docking in the
Okay,
cellar.
never mind. Then,
Yeah,
you
no.
know. I was gonna suggest maybe if you just drop me off.
I mean,
There's
you
no
could get
bus
jettisoned,
stop.
yes.
I mean,
No.
to be
Okay.
You could jettison.
No, I don't want. No,
So-
Love to see
there's
that.
no reason. There's no need to
Come
take
on,
on the extra danger.
I will say,
I know.
Paul.
You done?
I will say, Paul. In game, you do see the state of Tal currently hyperventilating at the thought of meeting a throng of people.
Yeah.
So it's not an outside. You know, you could make the
I'm
say, hey,
thinking-
we could do this.
So if I look at Tal, you're just like
Oh,
hyperventilating.
Tal is getting very upset. She's closing in on a panic attack.
Okay. Well, Tal, clearly you are not a fan of large crowds as I am. So there is one option that we could potentially do that may avoid various eyes. It's not the most traditional method of coming home. It's an equivalent of going through the back door, jumping onto your ex's roommate, and then breaking through their glass window and then going into their home. And by that, I mean we can dock. And I point like further, like just down.
That was a very specific anecdote.
Absolutely not.
No.
It's just a suggestion, you know, and there's a lot of press and not press. There's a lot of eyes that potentially could.
Just give me a minute. And Tal walks to her room and just shuts the door for a few minutes.
I didn't think it was that, unreasonable. It's just, I mean, I've been there multiple
It's just
times.
the scary ass black market of Coriolis. The
And I'm assuming
literal.
Soul has probably gone through.
Oh, you've definitely been down there. What you
Yeah.
would know about it is that it is bottom of the barrel.
Mhm.
All the illegal activity happens down in the cellar.
Also, where do I need to drop off my data? I can't remember if it was back where my dad's office
To your
is.
father.
It's back to his office, though, right?
Yeah, you report to your dad.
Okay, cool.
But after we hear this kind of slamming, well, there is no slamming, of Tal's door as she enters it, and the ship inches ever closer towards Coriolis. There, from the cockpit, comes a sound of somebody attempting to contact the ship, the vessel. You hear blue, blue, blue.
I think someone's calling.
Communications.
No.
What do you mean, no?
Yeah, let him answer it.
What if it's the news anchor?
Blue,
We will deal with it, and I'll go ahead and
What-
answer the call.
Okay.
blue. And as you boop it on, you hear static from the other end, and then a voice that simply says, this is Coriolis. Coriolis calling the Defiant. Vessel the Defiant. Please respond.
Oh, so they already know who we are. Great.
Good. So, of course, they know who we are. There is a transponder code that identifies every.
Just answer. Just.
Coriolis, this is Engineer Tamir of the Defiant.
Your vessel has been approved for special docking.
Could you
Please
clarify?
pull. And it says coordinates inbound. Please pull to the upper floors. Those are private docks.
Yeah.
Okay. Could you please let us know what under what jurisdiction we are supposed to be going to?
The Consortium. You are to deck on the upper floors. Coordinates inbound, and it kind of pops up on the screen. Over and out. Click.
Fuck.
It's just out.
Well, he says over and out, Mike. This is my show.
I can't control it when that happens. I'm sorry.
This is my show.
Over and out.
Question: How is, since this is everyone's pretty much home and Saul's home too? What information do Saul know about the relation between the syndicate and the what are they called?
The Consortium.
Consortium.
The syndicate on paper is not really supposed to exist,
Right. Of course.
right? So they walk a fine line because the Consortium is supposed to handle dealings of all sorts, right?
Right.
Occasionally there are things that, politically speaking, aren't allowed to be handled in public view. So oftentimes the syndicate is who the Consortium will give contracts to, say a contract like the one that you took,
Balls.
to handle under the table.
That's what I figured. Should Saul have any concern with this in the sake of?
I don't know. Do you have concern?
Paul has a fuck ton of concerns.
Does Sewell? I mean, you would know that you are supposed to report to your father, but
Right.
this is probably, knowing what you know now, this contract that you took is a bit bigger
Right.
than anything you've ever dealt with before.
Fuck. Okay. Never mind. Yeah. Okay then. Okay. I guess Saul's not gonna say anything. He's just gonna look a little more worried than usual.
Malik.
Anybody gonna get the pilot to dock the ship?
Yes, I'm about
Just
to.
checking.
Yes.
Yeah.
Malik, I need to go check on Tal. Can you make a copy of all of the transmissions that we've received? I have a very sick feeling.
A copy.
Somewhere safe?
Yeah.
Huh. You're thinking a lot like your brother now.
As a datagen, you would know making a copy of material of this kind is doable. That's not the problem.
It's illegal, isn't it?
It's very illegal.
That's fine.
This is not your property.
Yeah.
This is like streaming from Napster.
Good job, Tamir.
Malik says yes in a way that he's trying to make it sound like it was Tamir's idea. Like, oh yeah. And that he isn't halfway into the process of doing it already.
If you're storing it on something physical, there is a hidden area I can show you on the ship. Just in case.
We can put one there.
Oh.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I
And
got
leave.
you. All right.
Yeah. He's gonna
I am going
I
to...
wanna-
oh, go ahead.
I want to lead into Malik and be like, very impressive.
What?
Nothing. Go ahead. And then he just leans back.
What?
Nothing. Just do what you do.
Okay. Weird. Todd, you're muted for whatever that sass was.
It's because I am so sassy tonight, and so I'm muting myself so you can't hear my sass.
No, we want to hear it. What do
That
you
makes
mean?
it worse, I think.
Good.
we have to. This is a long.
Remember,
this is an
the
extended
third
game.
bar was supposed to make Mike sad. So
No,
I'm gonna
no.
keep my comments
shit.
to
No, it
myself.
wasn't. No, it wasn't, Dot.
It was. I want to
I was-
think actually Paul made that happen.
I was
Yeah.
kidding. It was a
That
joke.
was-
You can't take it back.
It was a joke. You can't take it back.
I want
No,
to
I
do...
want it to be a unified
I want
unhappiness.
to do two
Please.
things, Dot. I want to do... Actually, it's the same thing twice, I guess.
Okay.
So my intent was to duplicate all of that information anyway.
Okay.
So I'm going to attempt to do it twice and store one on the ship, and then I would like to, if possible, send one to my terminal on Coriolis.
Are you on a closed network?
I assume we're on the Coriolis network right now.
Okay.
Like the ship, I think, is a closed network, right?
Now that it's in range of Coriolis, it probably connects, if that makes sense. Like you
Yeah.
can get into the larger network. I'm talking about
I mean, I don't know enough about like how the Coriolis network. So I have my own. So I have the ship's terminal here, but I also have my own terminal on me. That is my personal terminal.
Oh yeah, that's like it stores things locally. Basically, is what I'm asking. I want to make
Okay.
sure you're not tapped into a lot because you're basically gonna have to transfer that information somehow.
Sure.
And unless you're directly transferring it, it's gonna run through their network, and you're moving that data through their network.
I mean, that's kind of how hacking works anyway, right? So
It is. So if you think you can move it through, like I'm gonna say back doors again. If you think you can move it through back doors and not be seen, if that's the kind of like way you want to go about the role, then we'll we'll let you roll it that way.
I think Malik can get a lot through the back door.
Okay.
Success.
Okay.
Dot, please take a darkness point that every time he says.
Every time somebody says,
Listen, if we're not doing darkness points get taken away from Dot for puns, we can't do.
"I haven't been punny today."
She was only
But the
punished
whole
once.
rest of the season.
I've been good on my puns.
I actually think in one episode she did take away darkness points for puns.
I did lose a darkness point.
Don't
She
worry,
did.
guys. I'm going to be giving her darkness points later.
I know
It's
we've
fine.
got so many to give you. Like,
I was.
fine.
I
Don't
was-
tell Chad
I'm gonna
not
go
to
talk
worry.
to Tal
Okay.
now.
We get the click clack away. You are successful in moving it, but it's going to take you some time. It's like trying to transfer money from bank account to bank account. You're like pinging private networks to like move the information. It's going to take you some time.
Okay, so great. So then, as to play off of that, what I want to do is the copy that we're leaving on the ship, I'm going to transfer to my terminal that I have on me, and then I'm going to put that in this wherever Tamir's going to show me, while it's continuing to transfer back to my home terminal.
Oh, great. Okay. Okay. Interesting. All right. You know where it is. We'll say that happens while you're click clacking away. We cut to Tamir at Tal's door. Tamir at Tal's door. I know all your names.
Yeah, he'll go ahead and kind of knock. Tal?
Yeah, yes. Sorry.
No. Are you okay?
Door opens. Tal's face looks red from crying, but she's... Yeah, I'm sorry. I should get docking.
No, you could take a moment. We can take as many moments as we need. We don't have to dock right away.
We're not alone, right?
Yes.
So I want my ship back.
Then we'll get your ship back.
We need to dock first. And then the ship will be mine again. But I have to dock first. So I'm just gonna hope that there aren't a bunch of crowds in the docking bay this time.
Well, so we just received a notification from Coriolis. They want us to actually dock in the special docking quarters per the Consortium. So I don't think that there will be crowds. But I'm still very concerned about what is going to wait for us on the other side.
Yeah. They've never had me dock there before.
Docks on that floor are owned by someone. They're private.
Yeah. I mean, we are full of so many new experiences this trip.
Yeah. Well, I suppose they probably want to get their hands on the data we have from the portal. Let's just keep it to what data we found and leave out the more extravagant details. I'll make sure to have a clear head before I write your recommendation for your next ship.
Wait, what do you mean next ship?
Tamir, you realize when you turn in that report at the end of your internship and when we get back in here, every single ship on Coriolis is going to try to recruit you. You're brilliant. I can't afford to compete with that.
But it's not about money, though. We've just done something incredible. Why would we not continue doing something like that?
Because that was the last job I had. I got enough to fix up my ship a bit, but I can't afford to pay you. And so I'm just going to kind of hang out until I have another job.
Well, and that's fine. I can go out there. I can go find other jobs for us. There are other jobs. If they want me, we will get the jobs. Do you not want me on your ship? Did I do something?
No. I mean, it's not the same without you. I don't know. While you were gone, it was weird. No. I just, you're working at your degree, and you've got such a bright future ahead of you.
Tal, I thought I had my future entirely planned out. I knew what I wanted. I could see where I was going to go. But after everything that happened, what I can hear now, what I have seen, what we know, honestly, none of that matters. There is no other ship that I want to be on. I feel that the universe has put us together. There is something greater, because there is something greater in you. And I don't I don't want to leave your ship. I don't want to leave you.
Tal's face turns as red as her hair.
I'm closing chat.
Fucking chat. Why? Tal's face turns as red as her hair. I don't understand why you would want to be on this ship. It's small. It's not that great. And it's just me. But I mean, you always have a place here.
Tal, it's not the ship. It's you.
Fucking Mike. Fuck you, Mike. I mean, there's not really anything special about me, but sure. What are you saying?
I don't know. I would like to see what type of future we could have together, maybe.
Well, whatever type of future it is, I'm sure it's going to be an adventure. If the past week has anything to do with the future. I gotta go dock. Apparently, I need to go set new coordinates.
Oh, yeah, they sent them over. They're programmed and they're ready for you.
Thank you. Let's just stick to the data.
Okay.
I put my hand on your shoulder as I go past you in the doorway and go straight to the cockpit to go correct our course, apparently.
Sha-la-la-la-la-la, don't be shy.
I hate you. There's a tense moment.
That was...
Go wow wow.
Y'all are really good at ruining shit like that.
No, there is
better.
Have you seen this show?
It's because Mike doesn't.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
Shots fired. Anyway, that's because I was trying to smooch and you stabbed her in the chest. So, I mean, whose fault is that, Dot?
No. The audience stabbed her.
Oh, okay. Blame it on chat.
That is fair.
I will always blame it on chat. Sorry, chat. Okay, so there's a very tense moment as Tao literally passes by Tamir. Bodies close, heat, tension as the doors open. And it's not the sound of steam, but hydraulics as Tao slips out to head to the cockpit, leaving Tamir standing in her room alone.
And sweaty.
When you get to your cockpit, you interrupted me, Mike. That was your fault. When you get to the cockpit, Malik is there, standing over your dash as if he owns the place, staring at the message of coordinates that they have sent you from Coriolis.
I will essentially just go right in between him and the dash and just start pressing buttons.
Bump him to the side, and you set a course. You realize these coordinates put you on the upper floors of the spire. The spire is the very top of Coriolis, made up of 200 floors of the most affluent, wealthy, and well-to-do folks that Coriolis can hold. This is where the...
Coats or no coats?
Both.
Okay.
The a little both, I think, really. They eat and dine here. This is where your judges will live. This is where adjudicators will live. This is important folk. And the message on your dash says that you are currently on the way to a private dock registered to a judge. Curahan is his name.
Does the name ring any bells to me?
The only thing that should is the judge part.
Great. Is that what you traditionally think of as judge in our world too, or?
Yeah, they're gonna serve to some degree on a higher level. So yes, at the bare minimum foundation term of the word, yes.
Cool.
And if nobody needs to do anything else, yes, I knew it. Are you gonna go take a shower?
No.
Okay. The last time you left Coriolis.
Yeah, thanks. Saul would be in his room and meticulously disassembling his robot.
Disassembling it?
Yeah, disassembling it.
It's laid out on your bed.
And he's very, very like OCD about all the parts, and he's looking for a specific part in the drone that contains memory, and he's going to remove it.
You slide the hard drive chip out.
He will stare at it kind of blankly, put it inside his pocket, and then slowly start to replace the parts and close it back up.
You place it. You have to put a new card in. Basically, you put a new chip
do I
in.
have would I have
yeah, spare chips. Yeah. It would be. It's like a thumb drive, basically, like any kind of memory stick. You replace it with an empty one.
So he's doing this to kind of give to Malik later, because like his drone also recovered like proof, I guess, and he doesn't want that just floating around.
Okay.
But as he's doing this, he sees on the side where the name Gizmo is kind of engraved, and will slowly start carving the name out with his knife.
Chipping away at it,
and then,
trying to erase another memory.
Yeah, and then he's going to put it back together, leave it off, and place it to the side of his room, and then make my way to hand over the memory chip to Malik.
A handoff is made as you all prepare to dock. Tamir, you now have the raw footage of pretty much everything from the drone's perspective. That includes the ship. Don't forget, the ship was also loaded with that. And I believe that was all downloaded also by Malik, because everything was fed to the ship's computer.
Correct. He sent a copy of it to the computer ship, or to the ship's computer.
Yes. If possible,
make another one if you want to get rid of it.
No, I was gonna say if possible, I would have like control cut all that onto my data pad. That's what I would have sent to get it off of Tal's ship.
To clear it. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't want that on Tal's ship. That's incriminating. That's incriminating. That's incriminating beyond what I would implicate Tal with.
I think this is standard protocol for people in the syndicate. If we use a non-syndicate vessel, we would probably do everything we need to scrub it clean.
Yeah.
Probably.
Unless your mission is to return information.
Even then, I'm scrubbing it clean from the ship.
Yeah, from the ship, like detached. That's why my memory is given to Malik and not just deleted.
You guys look so guilty. Everything is going to be scrubbed clean, and you're not going to turn anything over. They're going to go, so you disappear.
Right. We have to give them the Ghazali info.
Oh yeah, so that's the thing. So okay, so out of character here.
Okay, tell me exactly how you've broken this down.
So yes. Malik would, as part of his normal routine with what he does for the Syndicate, scrub his existence away from everything, which is why he took everything off the ship that he has. So Malik has taken from the ship the Ghazali information, the Hamura information, and all the information that was on the robot and on Tamir, and whatever I pulled off of the Taoan satellite, or the Taoan space station. That is all now on Malik's hard drive that is currently transferring back to his home terminal. He has the disk, the blue disk, and he has whatever Sewell just gave him, which that is just a bonus. He's keeping that. He's intending to give over.
I would not. Now that I think about it, Soul would not give it to you.
Okay, that's fine.
He's gonna hold on to it.
He is planning to turn the blue disc over to the Consortium.
Okay.
Because I just realized I probably need some sort of proof to report back to my dad anyway.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
You better not be scrubbing my travel logs.
I took any data that was pertinent to me. Like, so anything that I put on your computer, I've taken off your computer. So the travel logs are a normal function of the ship. I would leave that alone. That would be suspicious if your ship had no travel logs.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. It is a tense silence as the vessel docks to Coriolis for the first time with all of the travel and the travel back and timey-wimeys. It's been almost 2 weeks.
Damn.
You've been gone a while. As the vessel docks, you see the upper floors of Coriolis. I don't know how many of you have actually been to the upper floors of Coriolis, if ever.
No.
But here you are. And this area is a single docking station that very clearly docks to a private area. And when you step off, or when it opens up, there are 4 guards and a man, shaved head, tattoos down the center, and long robes that stands there that very clearly identify him as a judge here aboard Coriolis. He simply smiles at all of you, and he gestures and he says, "Welcome back."
Thank you. Is there a specific reason why we're docked here?
Yes. Follow me. And he begins to turn. The 4 guards look at you, guns in hand.
I will follow. I turn and give an eye to the guys behind me, but I don't say anything else.
Oh boy, this is definitely not suspicious. And then I'll also follow.
I just look back to Malik.
He's just staring at Sewell, who just spoke. It's like, and he starts walking.
I would have said that very low, just saying. Just saying. All right.
The whispers.
Very low whispers, okay?
Stage whisper.
Okay. You follow the judge. He speaks as he walks with you. For those of you that have never been to the Spire, the ceilings are high. Everything here is clean and well kept. There's no trash. People don't stand around. There's no loitering. There's purpose and placement to pretty much everything. And if this is privately owned, it is well funded by this man.
Feel like Saul would be very uncomfortable in this setting.
Same.
The guards follow behind all 4 of you. And he leads you down a hallway that eventually opens up into a massive glass panel that looks over the side of the spire, down all the floors. You're about halfway up the 200 floors. You can see there's a bustling of internal transportation. It's hollow. The light, a fake light in here feels like real sunshine. Everything's warm and bright and beautiful. The air is being filtered. It's clean. And he leads you down as you kind of look over this beautiful scape that is the spire to a double paneled door. And he says, "Welcome to my home." And he gestures to allow all of you to enter first.
Okay.
Opens up. It's probably what you imagine, more than you could ever hope for. Probably the size of Tal's ship and then some. Wide open. There's food already laid out on a table, like real food. Vegetables, the works. And he gestures to a large table in the center of this very, very beautiful kind of loft-style home. And he says, "Please have a seat. We have much to discuss."
Malik,
will.
Malik just cautiously sits down, like slowly sinks into the chair.
Yeah, I do very, very much the same.
I'll follow their lead very cautiously.
We're all very nervous.
He can tell. He can very much tell. Were
we able to bring any weapons or anything along with this? Would he have?
No.
No? Okay, cool. Just double checking. What about my knife?
If it was on you, I don't think he would have asked you to get rid of it. But
Cool.
he's not going to let you walk up in here with a gun bigger than his guards.
Yeah, okay. Knife is all I carried.
He gestures, noticing your general concern. And the 4 guards leave. He says, wait outside the door. They exit, leaving you literally alone. Doesn't seem to be anybody else in here.
Does anyone know this guy?
So what do we owe the visit?
Visit? He says, you have returned. I expect a full report.
Well, a complete report takes time. We have data and information, and that needs to be translated.
So you're telling me you've been gone for 2 weeks and have nothing?
No, we have the data, but it needs to be
I
translated.
don't care about your data. I want to know what happened.
I'm sorry, who are you?
He says, I introduced myself.
Yeah, no, but who are you?
I'm Judge Curahan. I have been overseeing the contracts that you all accepted.
Do you have proof?
Sure. He kind of walks over to a panel on the wall and touches it without even looking, and a data pad like drops out of it, and he kind of hits a couple buttons, and in the center of the table, a hollow, like a hologram, like up with like a HUD deck on it. And you can see, he pulls up a couple things. He says, well, here's your contract. And he said, he kind of scrolls through and he says, if I remember correctly, you were working for the Syndicate.
What? No.
What does the contract say, Dot? As it's like
It is the contract that was given to Sewell.
Does it on that contract? Does it say to report back to my dad, or does it say to report to whoever?
It says simply to report.
Okay.
Is what it said. And he says, I issued this contract as per request from the council
Understood.
to someone willing to accept it.
Well, we managed to make the jump.
to the Hamura station. And there was a crashed ship. And he pulls out the blue disc and puts it on the table and slides it towards the judge.
He stops it with a single finger very gingerly and looks at it. He says, you did manage to recover.
We did, yeah. That was the mission. Recover then the portal was actually broken to the Taoan system.
Correct. It said that there was data, but we just haven't had the opportunity to transcribe it.
He says, well, I'm glad to see we have something. Did you watch it?
We saw bits and pieces of it on the ship that we had to pull it from, but I think something happened and the portal did something and it shot something back and that broke up the Ghazali, but it was degraded by a long shot, whatever was on the ship. This needs a password, or he points to the disc and says that needs a password, so we didn't see what's on that.
He says, would you like to?
Oh, sure.
He takes the disc and walks back over to the same spot in the wall. Click, 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 types his passcode in. And it comes up. And it is the captain's logs from the Ghazali. Did you manage to hack through it? You didn't.
I stole all the passwords from the Hamura guy.
I thought so.
Yeah,
you managed to hack through this.
Yeah, sure, I'll totally
So
see this.
it is information. He plays through it, watching it happen. His eyes get big at one point.
And Malik also is looking at him. He's like, oh, at all the appropriate moments, right?
Soul's just
well,
I
if
hate
that's
this.
the case, I want you to roll
Soul's just keeping his head down.
for that, Malik. You seem to be What is this? This is
I guess
a manipulation.
Oh, okay, great. We can do that. Hold on, let me change my.
You can
You're
do that,
manipulating him.
Malik.
You're manipulating him into believing you've not seen this footage.
Yeah. You know what? Let's just for shits and giggles, it's the penultimate episode. Have a darkness point.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck yes!
Oh,
I'm an actor, Malik, the world famous actor.
Okay. That leaves me 10 darkness points to use between today and next episode.
Next season, you have a whole season, Dot. You have a whole. They can carry
But I
over.
have to start over.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
So we're gonna just zero that out.
yeah,
when
3
this is over with.
corruption bars.
And 3 corruption bars.
I'm just gonna roll crits for the rest of the show.
You understand tonight's going to be a longer night, right?
Okay. Okay.
I can.
I'm gonna have to send a message if that's the case. Cause so
I'm not opposed to it. Just saying.
Soul's gonna kill everyone.
you he watches, believing Malik to start. And he sits and watches through it, nodding, taking it in with a very stern face. He says, in your absence, there has been an outbreak aboard Coriolis. Not of disease or sickness, but of missing people, mystics. He kind of says, almost struggling to get the word out. He clicks another button, and the most recent paper from the bulletin comes out. The mysticides, they're calling them. A series of disappearances of people believed to be mystics.
What does this have to do with us?
I'm sure that you've heard. He completely ignores you. I'm sure that you've heard that one of the emissaries is missing.
That news did reach us.
It's good.
Tal did not tell us about that, right?
I told
she did.
Tamir.
He did. You told Tamir. Did you tell Malik
I
and
feel like
Saul?
she told the rest of us too.
You told them that that she was busy working on another story, which is that one of the emissaries had gone missing. Yes.
Okay, so we all do know that. Okay.
You know that much of it. That's about it.
Okay.
Tal, on the other hand, knows a hell of a lot more because she saw it.
Mm-hmm.
Felt it.
Have they been recovered?
No.
Does anyone seem to know where they are?
No. We have a general idea that there has been a conspiracy aboard this space station. One that has left us with little knowledge as to what is really going on. He says, we have some knowledge, but very little. There are whispers in the right circles of a group called the Warriors of the Holy Light. A renegade martyr group.
Why are you telling us this information?
Because the contract that you so daftly completed was only important in that it was a test. You all passed. Congratulations.
Hold on. A test usually means there's going to be something after.
Correct.
My agreement was this was the final.
I'm sorry, your agreement?
Correct. This is the last assignment that I'm getting.
He says, that's not an agreement I made with you.
Saul just kind of sits
He
back
says,
and just say
if
politely,
you speak of some under the table agreement you made regarding the syndicate, he says, I don't care about that. Because you don't work for the syndicate anymore.
I can agree with you on that.
He says, you are working for all of Coriolis. A mission to save the people. So,
Why us? What if we failed? What if we did not return?
no
What if we
loss
did
to
not
me.
retrieve information?
Then we would have found others.
Is this task optional?
No.
What if we
you
reject the task?
Go ahead, reject it.
Well, I'm just asking. No, saying that I might.
He says, well, there's only one way to find out.
And I look around, realizing that it's probably not going to be a good idea. And Saul will just sigh and just kind of slunk in a little bit in his chair.
He says, based on the knowledge that we have of this group of commandos that are cleansing Coriolis, they have infiltrated the security. We don't know who they are. So therefore, we are building our own undercover group.
I'm guessing we're part of that, aren't we?
He says, you are it.
But we are not trained military. We are not
Precisely the
police or
reason why I
investigators.
want you. We sent a whole fleet of military to hit the Taoan system. And yet all of you made it there and back.
Really can't argue with that.
He says, so. My test worked. Because you are undercover, you cannot report directly to me. Instead, I have someone that, one of you might be familiar with. He looks over to Sewell.
Fuck.
The last time I checked, they were interested in speaking with you. They said they owed you a thank you.
Shit.
So,
Just to clarify, it's the dancer, right? I don't know. I can't. My memory's kind of foggy.
you don't know.
Oh fuck. Okay.
You don't know. He says there is, they are located here in the spire as well.
They want to thank me?
You can find them here. And he slides actually a piece of paper across the table for whoever would like to take it.
I will take it.
It's made of plastic technically, but it's another address for here in the spire. A few levels down, actually quite a few levels down, closer to floor 1, I guess you could say. But nonetheless, here in the spire. He says, consider them, well, I'll let them tell you. He says, you may go now. I will send documents to you. He looks at Malik.
To me.
You are the data Jin.
I work at Space Spy.
Not anymore, you don't.
Oh.
Like I
Well,
said.
Malik, I guess you're on my ship. How does it feel?
I mean, it sounds like it's not your ship.
And he says, and as for your brother's debts, they are also complete. As long as you return, with the emissary.
Huh.
I'm very confused.
And he like side eyes Tamir.
So prior, you said I no longer work for the syndicate.
You
correct?
don't.
So
Correct.
does that mean my records and previous obligations are revoked?
It means that the syndicate has no hold over you.
Perfect.
The debts that you owe, those are yours.
Fuck.
He says, I am just a judge, after all.
So upon accepting this new role, and I look at all of us, are there perks, benefits, payment, something to help us get along with this?
Perks. He kind of smiles at the quaint idea. I know you've been away, but a lot has changed on Coriolis in 2 weeks. Before you accept my offer, see it for yourself.
Okay.
Is my ship still my own?
He smiled. He said, it's funny. It wasn't actually your own until today. But no need to worry about that anymore. Yes, it is still your vessel. Like I
have
said.
to look back on that contract between me and Jaren.
Yep. He goes, and like I said, I've simply freed you, given you a choice. Take it or leave it. If you would like it. He says, well, the pilot's on board.
I'll take it.
Yeah, I mean, in for a penny, in for a pound.
What?
Like an addendum.
Addendum. I am listening.
My debt is not part of this negotiation. It is mine to pay off, and it
No.
will not be tied to it. Yes,
He says, your debt was never yours to pay off. My understanding is that your brother is paying off your debts.
and it is my debt. It will not be transferred to somebody else.
He says, it already has been. Long before today, my understanding. How long have you worked your job, Malik?
How long have you been here, Tamir?
3 years.
I'm just saying it's going to take him another 3 to complete it. Or you can wait for further instruction, and I'll wipe your debt clean today. Well, his debt, anyways. Gives you more time to say, think it over. Accept it if you want to. Until then, I suggest you visit that man. And he points to the piece of paper
I'll look at it.
in your hand. It, again, is an address. It has a name on it.
What's the name? I'm scared to ask that question.
The name on it is Abdul Nassar.
Fuck, I knew it. I fucking knew it.
He says, well, you're welcome to stay here, but that is all I have to say. I'm pretty sure Nassar will fill you in on everything else.
All right. Well, thank you, I guess, for this extremely uncomfortable introduction back. Do we just leave, or your grace? I don't know.
He says, please,
Okay.
we're
And,
working together.
Sure. And I get up and I'm just like, oh God, I just feel like I had a talk with my dad. And then I'm just gonna,
You haven't
like-
even had that chance yet.
yeah, I guess I'll just wait for everyone else.
when I stand, I say, that actually is a very good point. What do we call you?
Oh, well, just as I introduce myself.
Okay. Just
I'm
wanted
Judge
to make sure.
Kirahan.
Just wanted to make sure there wasn't a fancy title now.
He says, I am a judge, as if that is the only title he ever needs, ever. Clearly, he's worked very hard.
I mean, some people like collecting titles, like, you know, rings or whatever.
So simply more to say. One title is enough, as long as it does the job.
I like you.
He says, good. I have a feeling I'm going to like all of you as well. If you return again, of course.
Okay.
Have a good afternoon. Oh, and enjoy your time. At least try to.
Question is, this isn't where I should be docking every time, right? No.
He says, you are welcome to dock here if you would like, as long as there is, of course, not my personal vessel docked.
Oh, well, damn.
You wanted perks, correct?
Yeah, I mean, we are, as you said, possibly the saviors of Coriolis.
In so many words. I bid you all adieu. And he simply turns his back and has a seat in what is very clearly his chair as all of you exit. The 4 guards, 2 on each side, still stand outside the door. They look at you under these kind of glistening heavy masks. It's almost like a full motorcycle helmet. They're white and they match white set of armor that they all wear. The guns prepped and slung over their bodies and in hand. They do not move or look at you as you exit.
So,
Wow. That was interesting.
Yeah.
I'll go just straight back to the ship. I don't know if anybody else has anything that they need to do, but just gonna rest a little. I'm really tired. I'm gonna sleep for a while.
Shouldn't we discuss? It seems like we are now a group, a team.
It does seem like that.
I mean, I don't know about you guys.
Aside from Tamir, because he didn't accept.
Well, he's pending.
Yeah, I don't think it's a choice, kid.
Yeah, I didn't really get that vibe either.
I can't hear what you're saying, but I'm sure it's very important.
I'll think of something.
You think of what?
Hey now. He needs to think. It's a big deal.
No. I'll think of something means an alternate to what was offered.
There's always an alternate.
There was an alternate when we got here. What are you gonna? That's a judge of the Consortium. That's the largest faction on all of Coriolis. There's nowhere, unless you're gonna go back planet side. There's nowhere. If you get blacklisted by the Consortium, you're done here. You're done. No ship will take you. You'll be kicked out of school. There's nothing for you on Coriolis. This isn't optional.
It's a big decision. Let him. I'm not saying that he doesn't understand it, but maybe he needs to sit on it a little bit just to let it steep. I'm sure Tamir will come to the right decision after he has time to process.
There's no decision.
I know, but look at him. Give him a minute.
I'm right here.
I know.
I can hear this conversation.
I'm talking to you. There's no decision. What are you going to
There's
go back
no
to?
decision.
Are you going to go back to
I'm
Algo?
tired of other people making decisions for me.
You
made the decision for me.
He didn't give
now
you a
they get to make a
choice.
decision for me.
I don't
Saul
think
takes
he's
a
giving
step
you
You
a
back.
didn't
choice.
give me a choice, and he's not giving me a choice. I'm going to find another way.
As this arguing is happening, Tal, I'm going to have you roll for What is it? It's not perception. Is it perception?
Observation.
Observation. I always forget it's called observation in this game. Is there a bickering in the middle of a very quiet
Yeah, probably.
residential hallway?
Yeah, these two are
yes.
probably.
I'm going to have you roll.
He's trying to stay quiet, but just there's a lot of emotion going
Yeah,
on.
I'm going to have... Okay, it's all you need. As they argue and maybe you're looking around to make sure nobody's hearing you or you're not drawing attention. About 20 feet down this beautiful glass hallway that you're standing in, you see a boy. The same boy that hopped a ride from Taoan to Coriolis. He looks a lot cleaner now, dressed very differently to suit the mood and vibe of Coriolis. He simply smiles and waves and turns around and begins walking off. He cuts left down a hallway. He is gone.
Well, that'll be fun to deal with later.
Wait, what?
Hey, my ship's actually mine.
I
All
thought it
the
was
way.
always yours.
You know, apparently not. I gotta reread that contract. Anyways, this is probably not the best time to hash out any tensions here.
Well, not here anyway.
You want to go back to the ship and argue, or
Perhaps that's the. I mean, we have.
I'm
next
not even
location.
looking at Soul. I'm looking at Tamir.
Yeah, it's like you just see Soul. Like, I agree.
Like,
we
do you want to
probably-
go to the ship to argue, or
Okay.
would you like to go get a drink or something?
The best restaurants are said to be here in the Spire.
That don't mean we could afford it.
I don't have money.
He
Oh, wait,
didn't give us any creds.
let me
so-
check. Let me check. Do I have any money left over from? Okay.
Actually, you need... So you go in, you're like, how much money do I have left over? Man, a fake steak sounds great. And you check your account. You have a lot more than you think.
Me?
Credits are already there for
Me or-
completing.
Oh shit.
Your account has been credited for the completion of the job you were sent on.
How much?
5,000 burr.
5,000 more added. Fuck. All right. Cool.
One contract down. For those of you that potentially have accounts, bank accounts, you too have 5,000 burr waiting for you.
Oh shit.
Tal
Tal.
has an account. It had probably 2 burr in it.
It was a job. You completed your job. You got paid right away.
I feel like I need to. You know what? No, I don't need to report to him. I don't work for him anymore. Are you guys hungry?
I have a report to go make, though. I'll meet back with you later.
Yeah, if we're going somewhere, I'm gonna go home and grab a change of clothes.
Splitting the party.
It's been 2 weeks, and he kind of like adjusts his jacket.
Oh my God. You're not going to visit the name that was given to you on a slip of paper by a judge of Coriolis. But he's like, I need a change of clothes.
I want to, but I feel like nobody else is ready to.
Okay. All right.
I will. So I was gonna stand and ask, hey, listen, I know.
Sorry, Dad.
Before
That's all right.
I'm gonna like try to reach out. Like, wait, before you guys all do your own thing. Like, I mean, in all seriousness, this is a very interesting opportunity that has been presented to all of us, regardless of your bickering or issues or whose ship is whose or oh my god, my brother betrayed me. Like, do you not realize everything at this moment could fix, at least financially and systematically, what is happening? And then I pull out the paper. This is an opportunity you do not want to miss.
So we already said yes.
But you guys are leaving.
Yeah, there was no time frame to meet this guy.
You should always go to your target when given an opportunity.
Oh, man.
All right.
Coming
let's
from
go.
the man who didn't take out his target the last time he left. Right.
No, listen, I had 2 targets. I had to choose which one was priority, the mission or him, okay? And Saul made the decision. That's a difference.
All right. Come on, Soul, let's go.
Well, one of 2 bars have been burned. Or one of 3 bars has been burned. There's now an ancient gin. spreading darkness around Coriolis.
Dope.
Ah, shit. Okay. Well, I mean, Tal's gonna.
You're welcome.
What are you two gonna do?
Malik is, as far as you know, going to do exactly what he said.
All right. Well, Tamir.
Report. Because I still have to finish school.
Oh, all right. Just go then, I guess.
Meet back at the ship.
Sure. And then as Sol turns around, he's gonna be like, "Damn it, fucking suck at this." And then he's just gonna like walk, I guess, towards an elevator, or I don't know what.
Yeah, there would be many means of transportation. Coriolis is large enough that it has internal trains, basically, like monorail type system that runs you from section to section. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna ask, where's everybody headed?
I feel like there's just a very tense and awkward, silent walk back to the ship, because that's where Malik needs to go too, and I know that's where Tamir's going. So, you're not going to the ship for your stuff?
Think he has
great. Okay, perfect.
He has to go report the thing.
In that case, I wasn't sure if he had to gather his stuff from the thing. In that case, I walk back to the ship. I'm going to the ship, and then I'm going back to that elevator. I need my computer.
Okay. Data has been transmitted. There are 2 guards outside your vessel, or Tal's vessel.
I assume that they work for that guy. Do they have the white thing?
They don't budge.
Yeah, he walks in and gets his tablet and walks out.
Great.
And
Next.
I'm headed to where the journey started.
So you're headed back down to, what is that, the ring?
Wherever the marketplace is, yeah.
The core.
Yeah.
The core plaza. Okay. You're headed back down to the core plaza. What about Sewell?
I believe me and Tal are walking towards the elevator, and I'm like looking up the number and like.
Yeah, we're gonna go.
You're gonna go visit this contact that he gave you.
Also, I'm very curious to see why he wanted to thank me. So.
Okay.
I mean, Paul knows, but Saul doesn't know.
Right. And Tamir, where are you headed to complete your report?
Tamir will head back to his little apartment pod.
And off all of you go, your opposite directions.
God.
We're going to start with Tamir. We're going to start with Sewell and Tao. It won't take you very long to take basically an elevator down to another floor. Maybe 20 minutes or so by the time you mitigate this massive place and figure out exactly how all of the addresses are laid out. It's very different than probably where you spend most of your time on Coriolis. You get to a kind of identical door to all of the rest of them, but it matches the number. And there is kind of a comm system, like on the outside of the door, that you can use to ring or buzz.
I will buzz it in.
There's a moment, the screen opens up, and there's a kind of older face, man, kind of greasy hair, that is far too close to his camera. And he looks in and he says, "Who is it?"
Captain Tuma of the Defiant.
Yes. He doesn't say anything. The camera bloops out, and the door open.
I will walk in.
I'll follow behind Tal.
Eyeing Sewell, like, caution.
Yeah.
You walk into what can only be described as like a waiting room almost. There's like a back-to-back white sterile benches sitting in the middle. And you see there's a door that has private security hired. This person is standing here. They're not holding a gun. They're not wearing the white mask that represents them as like a Coriolis guard. This is private guard. And he stands next to a very dense metal door that has kind of like barring on it as if something important is on the other side. As you enter, he kind of reaches over, key cards, and that door cracks open, and you're able to go into the next room.
Okay.
As you walk in, this is quite a sight to behold. It's funny that Tamir's not here, because this might blow his mind. This place seems to be a museum of some kind, possibly. There are these pillars kind of gridded out like 5 by 5, and on them, treated like a pedestal, are different artifacts and items that are encapsulated in these like bubbles almost, to keep them safe and protected. They're all labeled. These are more than likely very rare items. And walking straight towards you with very little question is the man that you saw, Sewell, the day you left Coriolis, the last time you left Coriolis, the one that you were supposed to assassinate.
Did I know what he looked like? Because I think the information I was told is that he would be at the docks at a certain time frame. I can't remember if I was given any visual aid.
Maybe not. Maybe you weren't. Maybe you were just given his name and the time frame he was going to arrive. You're probably right.
Yeah, I think the dude with the tattoo, I asked him, like, who's my target? And he's like...
He's like, this is it. You'll know him when you see him.
Yeah, you'll know him when you see him. But
that sounds like something I'd say.
With my memory, am I able to put the two together? Or would
no,
I
not yet.
Okay.
Not yet. Then if you don't know what he looks like, there's nothing so far to give it away.
Okay.
But his name, though, he had his name.
But you do have his name, which well, that's true. You would have known that you were supposed to kill this man. Yeah. That's it. You don't know what he looks like till this point, but you knew you were supposed to kill him.
So my initial shock was when I looked at the paper then.
Yes.
And then I'm just going to keep quiet about the whole thing.
Yes. And he says, well, don't stand on formalities. Come in. He kind of gestures.
Okay. And then I look at Tal for approval to see like what she does.
Yeah, I'll lead in.
He says, I'm so sorry. Let me guess. The judge scared you?
It's not really the word I would use.
Well, what word would you use?
Shock?
That seems appropriate.
Yeah, it's been a little eventful the past couple weeks.
Interesting.
Was not expecting to talk to a judge first thing when I came back.
Why not? You did take a high-profile contract.
Right. We totally knew that. His voice kind of trails off.
To be honest, I had no idea what I was getting myself into.
He says, then you need to choose your friends more wisely. And he looks right at Sewell.
So kind of like dark. He still can't fucking look at people in the eye. He like looks away and just like, mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't know him when we started this.
He says, it has come to my attention that my life was spared thanks to you. He looks right at Sewell.
So I was like, oh, fuck. He's just kind of like looking around. Like
he says, don't worry, Captain. He says, your team also has poor taste in friends, if I do say so myself. But that's in the past now. I'm here to simply thank you. And to offer what I can, such as patronage for you and your team.
Okay. We were also told you were going to be our point of interest from this point on.
Hence the patron part.
All right. Right. Sorry. He's still just trying to like look away. Like, yeah, right. That's what that means.
He says, take it or leave it, but you did in fact save my life, though you were also going to attempt to take it. What I am trying to say is that I'm interested in funding your party's endeavor.
His ears perk up. Funding?
Yeah, so did Tal's.
He says, what do you think patron means?
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I don't know. That's both the Saul and Paul, just saying.
He says, it's not a usual exchange, I guess, but occasionally an interested party with enough spare income can, in fact, fund endeavors for, say, like, bringing things back.
I elbows Tal like, hey, look at that.
Well, I mean, I can't really say no to anybody who wants to fund running my ship. At least then I'll be able to pay my employees.
He says, as you can see, I have a bit of a problem. And he gestures to his massive collection of ancient artifacts.
I think these are cool.
He says, oh, they are very cool.
My engineer would love to see this room.
Yes, where's the rest of your team? I thought there were 4 of you.
There is.
They seem to need a few moments. We have been
Yeah.
locked in essentially a spaceship together for 2 weeks. Sometimes people need time apart.
Giving them a room, giving them some room to breathe.
I see. Well, I hope that they find whatever peace they're looking for. But Coriolis is not a peaceful place at the moment, so I wish them the
Sometimes
best.
you just need to be away from people you've been too close to for too long.
About that, why is Coriolis not a peaceful place anymore?
Oh, he says since the disappearance of the emissary, things have been hostile.
Right. The judge mentioned that. Any information you can give us about that? Like he said to go look for yourself. What does he mean by that?
Oh, the judge has such a way with words. I think what he says is you won't believe it till you see it. Security has been doubled, and we are not entirely sure that security is not part of the problem. There seem to be some dark forces at work aboard Coriolis, interested in getting rid of the problem. He kind of puts in quotations, knowing that he means mystics. He says, I'm going to assume that the both of you aren't caught up in a mess like that. You seem to be pretty normal people.
I can't remember. Yeah, we're fine. So what exactly? We were told that you would tell us what the next step would be.
Yes, of course. Well, if you accept the patronage, of course, it would be regular funding for your missions and such, but under a condition.
Okay.
I am a rare collector. I like my artifacts. If you are to come across them upon your journeying under my burr, they belong to me. You simply hand them over. That's it.
What? I look at his collection.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a pattern of what he's kind of collecting?
Oh, this is going to be a roll because artifacts really aren't your thing.
No, they
I was gonna look around too at that.
Yeah, you're welcome. He does not stop you. He seems very open and understanding of you looking. Like he wants you to. It's almost like I said, he keeps it like a museum. Everything's labeled. These must be his favorites. He has multiple other doors, which you can only assume house other rarities. But Sewell, this is a culture roll.
Okay.
If you don't have that,
Is it not a technology roll?
it's okay. So you can roll technology, but I don't think he has technology either. So
I have technology.
Okay, yeah, you can make a technology roll. Sewell doesn't have either. So, you know what? We'll just make them both flat wits rolls. So you can make the technology if you have it. Just make a wits roll elsewise to see if you can figure it out.
I got 2 technology because I need to know my ship.
I failed.
These things look old, Sewell. They are valuable and old.
Cool. Okay.
Tau. They do seem to be. They have a lot of basis in technology. They all seem to be a technological artifact of some kind, though they sit in a stasis. Not all of them are technology, but the majority in here seem to be technological artifacts.
Okay.
And very, very impressive and rare ones.
Still not knowing anything. How will we know what you want?
He says it's not about what I want. The greatest things aren't found because you want them. He says, I'm asking you to bring me what you find if you find it. I'll delineate its value.
I look at Tal.
I can do that.
Okay. It's like, I don't. All right. I mean, that seems quite fair, right? Not too.
He says, so for example, did you happen on this trip to find anything?
Did I find? No, that was given to me before I left for the trip. No,
So technically, yeah.
I didn't find anything.
And who
that
has it?
Seemed interesting.
has-
I've got the statue.
You have the
I
statue. Who has the base?
Tamir does.
Tamir does.
Tamir has the base. Okay,
And
you
I
have the
have-
statue.
And I didn't find it on the trip.
That's right. You did it.
It was given to me.
It was given to you. Sewell is the only person that like found something.
Yeah, I have the butterfly
The
imprinted
scroll
rolling that
thingy.
broken in
yeah,
half, right?
yeah.
I don't think I would have carried that. I think he would have left it in his quarters.
Perfect. That's all I need to hear. He says, so nothing.
I
Not that comes to mind. No.
That's okay. We have all the time. He says very calmly and with a smile, he says, so here's what I'm going to do. He hands over a cred stick to Tao. He says, this is your expenditure.
Okay.
If you ever lack what you need, simply request. I will see what I can do to fulfill.
All right.
And he says, and considering the fact that you will be going planet side next, you may want to use that to restock your ship.
I'm sorry, what?
Oh, right. You don't have the next mission. This will be sent to you or something, as per the judge. But you will be visiting the jungles of Kua.
You said jungle?
Of Kua?
He says, you do know at the base of the spire that sits above Kua is a jungle.
Right. Sorry.
Long day.
Yeah.
He says,
lots
of
of
course, you have done much portal travel, is my understanding.
Right. Well,
Not even sure if I've slept in the past week or so. Aside from cryostasis.
He says, it sounds to me like all of you could use
A drink, a good meal, and a sleep? Yeah. That's what I'm going for.
He says, wonderful. Well, then let me just, and he kind of pulls out a data pad and like pings around. He says, I've added extra to assure that your amenities are taken care of while you rest for the next few days.
right.
Oh.
Thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
He's a little off put by how quickly he did that.
Yeah, me too.
All right. Well, we just came here as a formality just to introduce ourselves first.
He says, I appreciate that. And once again, thank you. I hope it doesn't cause you too much trouble. Your decision to spare my life has given me a new look.
Yeah.
A new lease on it, you might say.
Yeah. I'm glad I could help.
All right. Well, thank you so much. And I will
Yeah.
start grabbing Soul and like
He'll follow.
putting him
He'll
towards
just-
the doll.
he'll just follow.
He says, come back anytime. I'll show you more of what I have.
Okay. Thank
And
you.
then I'm gonna wait until we're like past the iron doors, I guess.
He's kind of weird and awkward.
Yeah.
He's like the nerdy kid that nobody ever liked. But he's the rich, wealthy kid that nobody liked. He reminds me a little bit of the older version of the guy from Grandma's Boy. The one that's like,
Yes.
okay, he's like
oh
totally
no, that just
awkward.
totally changed my.
He's
opinion on
totally
him.
awkward and totally alone and totally has so much money.
Was there anything suspicious about the way he acted, or did it seem kind of more so like just social awkwardness and eagerness?
Roll in empathy.
Oh, damn it.
Come on, Sol, you can do it.
You got this, Soul.
Okay, yeah. Limited
Okay.
success.
Okay, the awkwardness was like a lot. He was definitely excited you were there. He was definitely a little fangirl that you saved his life. That was very obvious. Is he sketchy? No. Not necessarily, and definitely not in the way that maybe the judge
Right.
was off-putting to you. But he clearly wants something out of this, which is that he wants you to bring back all the rarities you find to him.
Gotcha.
This is his underlying cause here is like, you guys are great. You did this amazing thing. Now I'm going to give you all the money you need so that every rare thing you find comes to me.
So I get this vibe of like, it's like a very rich neighborhood and everyone is like super smiley and happy and proper. But behind it all, it's like some shady ass shit in every single door.
Yes.
which is very off-putting and very uncomfortable for Saul.
Yeah, people here are never who.
Yeah.
Up here, nobody lives who they actually are on the outside.
Right. So I will turn to Saul. I mean, not Saul, what the fuck? I'll turn to Tal and just be like, what the fuck?
Rich people are weird.
I mean, but check how much, and I point to the like credit, like, how much did he actually give us?
You plug it into your arm piece or whatever you've got on you. Currently sitting in that account is 20,000 burr.
Whew.
I don't look over. I just wait. Well,
more burr than I've ever seen in my life.
okay. Can I? And I like lean to see the number. Can I like?
The total number on like the bottom of the account's total, it says 25,002 burr.
I'm like, oh my gosh, wow. I mean, that's good startup money for whatever we're gonna
Basically, Daddy just gave you a Visa Black, is what just happened.
Saul at this point is super
sponsor us,
enthusiastic.
Visa.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Gosh.
Please do.
Saul at this point is just like super enthusiastic, simply because he knows he's no longer with the syndicate. But he's kind of like a lost puppy at this point now because all he knew was the syndicate. So
let's go back to the ship.
Okay.
Unless did you have somewhere you needed to go to pick up stuff, like a house or whatever? Because I assume that you're gonna move into my ship now.
Soon.
Saul kind of just thinks like, no, I think I'm pretty good with leaving that stuff there.
All right, well, let's go back to the ship. I want a shower, and
Okay.
then we'll go get food.
Okay.
And off the two of you walk, pondering the fact that you're now carrying more money on you than you've probably ever seen at one time in your life. Enough that you could make upgrades on your ship. You could stock up. You could buy new ground vehicles for, say, the jungle you're about to head into, possibly.
Yeah.
And the camera cuts to Tamir. Where are you headed, Tamir?
Headed back towards
Your
whatever-
pod?
Yeah.
You house yourself with the rest of the students who are given sleeping chambers under your scholarship and your studies. It's part of kind of the collegiate side of Coriolis, near where the school is. Quite a few of your classmates at this point are out on their own missions. This is kind of part of the process. So people ebb and flow, but it's been a while since you've been in your pod. Your pod is exactly 6 foot by 6 foot. Tall, wide, it's exactly a cube, and they stack. And you were able to get back to yours. The few things that you left behind, what you can manage to store in here, a small desk, the actual place that you sleep, and a single sink.
Yeah, he will go ahead and enter and just probably sit on the bed for a long while, quietly. And I think eventually he will kind of reach into his pocket and pull out the talisman.
You pull it out. It's smooth in your hand, except for the few carvings that kind of are in it, but it is a beautifully crafted smooth stone. Mm-hmm. You thumb it and spin it in your hand, pondering over it.
He'll go ahead and just set it down on his desk, and I think pull out his data pad and maybe start sifting through some of the notes that he'd been taking over the course of their trip, trying to figure out what it is that he'll say in his reports. But I think he's at loss right now of what to do. for that report. So he'll grab the talisman and pack up the data pad and head off into the university.
As you walk through, this is what you would expect out of kind of a high-tech university, one that's well-funded and put here for good reason. The place of learning among the connected systems of the Third Horizon. And as you walk through, naive students sit in desk, unaware of what's going on. As you pass by digital bulletin boards, you see strange postings, chatter that the Order of the Para is behind all of this. Scum, they're called. More articles about the mysticides. And then a series of missing posters. Students, faces that you recognize from passing. Maybe you've shared a class with them in the past, in your early years. But a lot of them. 10, 12 faces missing. Where are you headed? There would be like a library, obviously, and like study halls and classrooms, and those kinds of things. And you would know where all of these things are, very much so.
Perfect. He is definitely going to go to the library. I think right now he needs to learn or find as much historical documentation about mystics that he can.
Okay. You head to the library, quiet as you might assume, but this is not the library as we might consider it. It is an archive, a digital archive full of data drives that can be rented and checked out and plugged into the internal network system, private network system of the university here aboard Coriolis. It has full access to the Coriolis like research database and then some. As you walk in, there is a librarian that sits behind the desk. You can tell they are actively like typing away. There are like 10 monitors and they're like clicking across multiple keyboards, very much not interested in anybody that's in here, including you.
Great. Perfect.
And you set to work. How and what exactly? You said you're looking for information on the mystics, yeah? Are you looking for old information or new information? Because the easy search of what's recently been going on, you can very quickly pull up years worth of recent years worth of bulletin posts and see the ongoing, like this person is missing and this person is missing. And I would say you're smart enough to very quickly pick up on the point that once the ghosts of Xene declared themselves the judge incarnate, the emissary, there was a direct rise in missing persons related to mysticide cases. So this has been this kind of growth that you see happen very rapidly after they arrived about 6 months ago. And it continues to rise at a pretty rapid pace. Some of them are just missing persons reports. Some of them are death certificates where they've actually found people murdered in dumpsters in the cellar and things like that. But all in all, that's the bare minimum of what you're able to put together about recent news on the mystics. You will need to roll if you want to try to piece together information on the mystics outside of that.
Yes, please. He's definitely looking for more like archaic.
Yeah, more archaic information. Is there a pet shelter on Coriolis? Why wouldn't there be? Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes, why wouldn't there be? We'll have to figure out what space cats look like later. Okay. So I'm going to say, Samir. This is really just a wits roll, in honesty, just to piece it together. It doesn't have anything to do with science. This is just a wits roll. Okay. It takes you a while. You take the small kind of elevators up and down the multi-tiers as you try to seek out the data that you're looking for. These are ancient archives, some of them, that have been collected over the years trying to replace the lost information after the Portal Wars. It's not a lot. There's very little. But what you begin to piece together, what you're able to decipher, is that mystics didn't really appear until the Zenith ship did. There are everything from personal journal entries from individuals in the Order of the Para to individual journal entries even that you can see people reporting on their experiences, their awakening, as it's called. It doesn't seem to have any correlation to upbringing or location or place, just that there was kind of this mass rise in people that began to have weird abilities. And then on the opposite end of the spectrum, you find a series of medical reports, police reports, calling it a sickness of the darkness, that mystics somehow have tapped into the darkness between the stars, and that they draw power from it. And therefore, they themselves are part of the darkness. Some conspiracy theories say that if we simply ridded ourselves of the mystics, it would go away. Others believe that the mystics reach out and attempt to touch the icons. See, the information varies on what the mystics actually are, but the fact of the matter is they're all tied to the arrival of the Zenith ship. And people continue to report their powers awakening up until about 6 months ago, where people stopped talking about it, except for the news. Because being a mystic put a target on you and your family. I'd say, too, that the reports on the mystics in terms of the powers themselves vary. You get reports of everything from premonitions to strange stories of being able to hear objects speak to them, to the rising of dead bodies.
Okay. I think to Mira try to find, like, maybe locate a little more about the rise of the dead bodies, especially with our recent experience of the Bokor.
I'm going to have you roll another wits as you... Actually, I'm going to give you your technology on this because you're getting deeper into something. And I want to see if you make connection as you scroll through vast amounts of information.
Okay.
This is that moment where, like, Neo's sitting at his computer and it's just like, and it's just scrolling.
Take a darkness point.
Great.
Oh, son of a bitch.
Great. It's a lot of information. From what you can tell, it is very, very rare, this power. It's not been recorded a lot. Only one case really has a report on it. But the person who wrote these, it's just a personal journal, basically devoured into chaos. It was said that they reported that they could touch a dead person or an injured person and regenerate them in some way. But something about the regeneration took from them. It almost gave their life force to another. Is it true? You don't know. Is this person crazy? Probably, to some degree, especially over time. But they basically disappeared. Their record cannot be found. Like this person never existed. And somebody forgot to erase their diary from the archives.
Can Tamir take this?
Kyle? Yeah, you can download if you wanted to like download and students do that all the time. Download the information onto like your data pad. Yeah, you could download his journal entries onto that data pad. Yeah. Yeah, that's what you managed to get out of this. There's a lot of other information, but that's what you get out of that piece.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And again, there are multiple reports of everybody from clairvoyance to general intuition to like premonition. Some people controlling people's minds. But the fact of the matter is, most of those people are long gone, either reported as deceased or flat missing.
Okay. I think before Tamir, grabs his stuff and maybe takes back off towards the ship, I'd like for him to send Professor Tuma a message.
There's no need. Because when you look up, she's already in the library. She's already standing there. She is working with a couple other students. She's kind of pointing at some things on a table and doing the teacherly duties that she's known to do. But she makes eye contact with you and like puts her arms out as if like, were you not going to tell me you had come back? And she quickly looks at her students and says, I'll be right back. Continue working on this. And she crosses to you. And she says, Tamir, how long have you been back?
A couple of hours.
And a couple of hours and you're already in the library.
There's a lot to do. But Professor, I think Tal is going to be in danger.
Why would you say such a thing?
I mean, there's already a lot of danger, to be honest. I don't know if it's safe to talk here.
Well, we can always go to my office. That's where you and I usually conversate.
Yes, please.
She walks back over to her students and assures them that they need to complete the assignment or whatever that they're working on, and introduces you. And she says, this is one of my finest students. Brightest, in fact.
No.
Tamir. He's just returned from a couple portal jumps. It's my understanding. I hope you have something to report.
There's plenty to report.
I look forward to hearing it.
It's going to be a long report.
She says, good. I love long reports. And she's telling the truth. And she looks at her students and she says, so just so you know what you all have to live up to. Almost in a joking way. As she pats a star pupil on the back and leads you down into her office. You know exactly what this is. It's attached to her classroom. Which is somewhere between what I imagine a like medical lab classroom to be and an auto mechanic shop, because you study portals here, but it's also very much a structured and clean environment. So pieces of past portals have been brought in, even possibly destroyed ones, so that you can do the kind of research you need in a classroom setting, or she can make her points. And she leads you to a small room in the back of the classroom. And glass, nothing sketchy about that. And she gestures for you to have a seat as she sits behind her desk. There's a picture of her family on the desk.
Yes.
She says, so tell me, please, what did you see?
Too much.
There is no such thing, Tamir. She says, as scientists, we must be specific.
Okay, so the portal from Kua to the Khamura system was that was the
first jump.
That was right.
You made it, but you jumped. You made it, but you jumped into the debris field.
The correct, yeah. It didn't send us to the appropriate.
Yeah, so correct. So you came out kind of in a mess, and then it was the jump from Hamura to Taoan. That was the problem.
Correct. Okay, so he'll relay that information in technical detail.
Which is interesting, but you made the jump.
Yes, we did.
How?
By plotting the coordinates and jumping. I'm pretty.
She says, but I thought it was broken. Do you explain to her that there was a rift opening?
There was like this little thing, and like we had to plot around it.
Okay. She goes, so there's multiple portals, openings inside of the single one.
That is what it appears. Honestly, because there is more than one.
Like a tear in time.
Perhaps.
Interesting. Did you, dare I say, record it?
We attempted to, but the recordings came out static.
Makes sense. We don't usually have good footage going from one jump to another.
I know. I tried.
She says, I'm just interested in what you can remember. And what did you find in Taoan?
Darkness.
She says, no. Tamir, really, what did you find there?
No, Professor, darkness. There were no stars.
There's no way that is possible.
Professor, have I ever given you a report with doubting?
Okay, let's say this is all true. Why is Tal in danger?
I haven't had the opportunity to discuss it with her, but I think that she may be a mystic. There are instances, things that have happened.
I have known Tal a very long time, Tamir.
You're her mother?
She came from me, and I can tell you, as much as I love my daughter, and as brilliant and brave as she is, she's no mystic.
I disagree with your assessment.
What makes you think that she is this? Are these your fears coming back to Coriolis? There is much talk right now of such horrible things.
What do you mean horrible things?
Well, the disappearances, of course, and the fact that the mystics are all behind this.
How did the mystics do this?
She says, I don't know. I'm just relaying some of the things that I've heard. The students tend to whisper.
So the mystics are the ones who are responsible for the mysticide? Or the disappearance of the emissary?
That.
I see.
If what you say is true, then Tal should not be here. And more importantly, I'm worried about what this means for our family. When did this intuition of such things, what prompted it? What has she done?
It's getting late, and I actually should probably go check on her. Anyways, she's alone right now on the ship.
Tamir, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. It's been a very long 2 weeks. We haven't really had the time to sleep. I'm very hungry.
You're a bad liar.
I mean, it's been 2 weeks.
She says, I'm not talking
about that. And I'm very
tired. I believe that.
I need to leave. Please.
Oh, she says, I won't stop you, but you know that you can tell me, right? I have supported you for a long time, and I believe a lot in your capabilities. I wouldn't have put you on a ship with my daughter if I did it.
I'm very grateful that you did. She's the best damn pilot in all of the Third Horizon.
I know.
Thank you. And Tamir's gonna like awkwardly get up and go to leave.
Mir,
Yes,
Your-
Professor.
your final report.
Mhm.
It's still due.
Of course. In full detail.
Good. I look forward to reading it.
I think you'll enjoy it.
I hope so. And she says, kind of waves and kind of peeks out her door as you leave. Yeah.
Yeah. He'll eventually head back to the ship. He's gonna get back to the fucking ship.
Okay, you got a long way to go.
Yeah, it's fucking
It's a
far.
long, long trip. But our camera doesn't follow you all the way back to the vessel. It goes to Malik. Malik, what have you been up to?
Crimes.
I believe that.
Okay, so Malik boarded the Defiant, retrieved his compad, his computer device, and left. Took the elevator back down to the central core and began to peruse the various stalls looking for... I don't have his name, but I'm looking for my contact in the area.
Which contact? The guy that gave you
The one who gave me the data stick, yeah.
So you're talking about what was his name? Merez. No,
Yes.
no, that's his dad. You're talking about that's right.
Merez, yeah.
Merez
Yep.
Alcan.
Yep, I'm looking for his stall. I mean, I know where it is, so I'm heading for his stall.
Okay. You head over to his stall and he's there, sitting there, leaning back. He says, "Well, I did not expect to see your shitty face again."
Wow, really? When have I not returned?
He says, "Well, you weren't really supposed to return from this one."
I mean, that's why I'm clearly the best that there ever was.
Well, you keep telling yourself that, kid. What can I do for you?
I mean, the job's done, so... Pay
Oh, right. You want the money.
Right, that would be great.
Did you deliver the goods?
Where is the delivery point? You just gave me the contract and where to get it. I assumed you knew where the drop-off was.
He says, "Hang on a second." And he walks to the back of his shop, and you hear him like muscle around. You wait and you wait and you wait, and he finally comes back out and he says, "I contacted the right people." He says, "You have a rendezvous.
Outstanding.
10 minutes here." And he gives you a location. He says, "Good luck with that, by the way."
Oh?
He says, "I hope you're good at making friends."
Why?
Where he says, "You're going to meet the biggest drug dealer on Coriolis, of course."
Great. Don't need that today. Okay, cool. Great. Any other shit you want to drop on me?
Do you have any money to spend? Do you need to buy something?
For your trash. Great day. And he starts to walk towards...
Asshole, he shouts and he leans out of his stall as you walk off. Yeah. You have been given the location of a location in the cellar.
Mm-hmm.
A shady cantina.
Mm-hmm.
And off you head.
Mm-hmm.
When you arrive, the general people are really upset at me. Really upset at me. My players, did you see that? They're pointing and shouting.
Do I recognize this cantina at all? Perhaps 3 years ago?
Do you usually 1 second. I have to send a text message to my boss who just texted me.
Oh,
you can
God.
sit in this, simmer in this shady bar
That's
for a
fine.
second.
I'm assuming it's the one from 3 years ago, and Malik hasn't been back here since that moment. And so he walks in with, like, not trepidation to meet the biggest drug dealer in Coriolis, but more so, he never planned on being back in this bar whatsoever. So he kind of walks in, and there's that weird sepia tone din of, like, he sees it as if it was 3 years ago and steps further in, and that kind of fades away, and he sees it as it is now, and it looks pretty much the same as shitty cantinas go. Didn't change a whole lot. And he begins to walk through and looking for what looks to be the biggest drug dealer in Coriolis, because you kind of stand out when you have that kind of title. So he's looking for either a guy surrounded by guards, or knowing his contact, a huge fat dude. It could have been literal. It could have been figurative.
Get out of my head! I was gonna say he was a big fat dude. Now I'm not gonna say that anymore because you called it.
It's too late. It's too late. You got to do it. I know who my contact is.
All right, you walk into this shady bar. It is exactly what you expect. This is a place where people can drink, but maybe not where you want to.
Right.
All heads and eyes turn to you. It's very clear who is here to drink and who works here, because everybody that works here is male, female, scantily clad, to say the least. There's a big figure off in a corner booth. He takes up most of it, stands for the 4 figures that sit around him. One of them pets his beard.
Gross. I think Malik just... There's a lot. It's a long day. It's a long 2 weeks. He just kind of walks up to the table.
He kind of clicks his teeth. And he says, "Are you looking for a job? Because I'm full up." He points to the scantily clad people around.
God, no. I drop off.
He squints his eyes. He says, "Oh, interesting. Okay."
Were you not expecting a drop off?
He said, "Well, I've already had one today."
Remind me again what that guy's name was. Maresh.
Merez.
Merez.
He looks at the 4 on either side of me and says, "Scatter. I have business to attend to."
Ugh.
He obviously can't get up on his own, so he doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
He instead gestures for you to sit down.
I don't think that Malik sits down.
He says, "Sit down."
Alrighty.
As you do, a very beautiful woman pulls a curtain closed around you in this like circular corner. There's a shimmer, like a blue sheen, as if maybe it's soundproofed in some mechanical way. And he says, "It's interesting that you show up talking about the completion of a contract that I was already delivered for."
I didn't say any of those words.
He says,
said drop off.
He says, "We'll drop it off."
Is there payment? You said you already received it.
He kind of slides a curtain away. He says, "Go get her," and closes it back.
I assume you got the dust from Hamura.
See, I knew you were lying to me. And sure enough, as the curtain parts back, a figure you know so well.
Great.
Tall, beautiful, but this time she doesn't wear a dancer's outfit.
Oh, that chick. That's not how I expected it at all.
This time she wears a very tight black suit. It fits her body like oil. She smiles and she says, "I beat you to it."
I don't think you did. And Malik puts like one hand up, like a I'm not pulling a trick, and then reaches in and Doc, you can have your darkness point as I'm using my my ability, the dark, the faceless one's power, and you hear like you see a wince and the painful sound of tape being removed as he rips off a bandolier from behind him and says the contract was raw umbra, and he places all the vials on the table.
The big man smiles. He looks up at her. She's now joined you on the opposite side of him in this kind of half moon booth. And he says, "Were you trying to steal from me, woman?" She doesn't flinch. "Of course not. I delivered what I had. Thought you might be interested." And he says, "Well, we're in a pickle. Because I only had enough money for one delivery. And both of you delivered so beautifully."
Malik attempts to continue to play the cocky card, and he like places a hand on the table and then like one on the back of the booth like he's about to get up, and he says, "I'll take favors," as if he's going to leave the conversation.
The fat man says, "I don't deal in favors." He says, "I deal in burr and drugs."
Well, I don't want drugs, so...
He looks at your processed umbra, and he looks at the woman, and he says, "He's right, you know. The contract was to return this." And he like slides it across the table into his space. And he reaches down under the table. You don't know where this comes from, but he pulls out the package, the kind of bagging of all of the red powder, and he slams it on the table, and he says, "I have no use for that. It's unprocessed." She looks perturbed. Her eyes squint. He laughs a hearty laugh. "I'm jest. Both of you look so serious." He says, "I'll take both. Your payment will be delivered."
To?
You.
When?
Slides the curtain again with like a big chunky finger, and he says, "Process payment, please, on contract 9.
Then I think we're done here.
I guess we are.
I'll be going. And he goes to reach for the curtain.
"Nobody's stopping you," he says.
"Well,
Bye-bye.
I hope to never see you again." And he looks towards the dancer. "Good luck." And he slides the curtain back and slides out of the booth.
She follows. Definitely.
Malik does his best, like, you know, when you say goodbye to someone and you're going the same direction, he does that, like, I'm just pretending to not notice you, that you're here 2 feet behind me, click-clacking on your stupid heels, as he is doing his best to just continue on and pretend she's not following him. And he's going to head back towards... He's actually probably going to head back towards the... knowing the little bit about what he's kind of figured about her and what Sewell has hinted at, he's going to head back to the plaza and wander through some crowds a couple times, 3 or 4, do a circle or 2, figure 8s, and then make his way back towards the elevator.
You're trying to lose her, is that
I'm
what I'm
doing
hearing?
my best to be cautious of my travels.
I'm going to have you roll an infiltration.
Okay.
She will do the same.
Okay, cool.
Well, she may roll different.
Limited success.
Where is she? Okay. What does she have? She's actually going to just try to keep eyes on you. She's going to roll against your limited success or your infiltration with observation. Great. You twist and you turn. You try to lose her in the cellar. And just when you think you have, you kind of round a corner. Take a moment, you're like, yeah, I definitely lost her. You turn to leave and she's standing there. And she says, you don't think you're getting away that easy, do you?
I have business So if you don't have any other...
She says, she puts a finger on your chest. She says,
Ooh, don't.
I wanted to speak with you. Do you mind?
Very much.
She says, well, too bad. Can I buy you a drink?
No, just, we're here, you're talking, just...
She says, the man you just spoke to.
Uh-huh. Don't need names.
She says, you should know who you work for.
I try to know as little as possible. It's called plausible deniability.
You have an interesting set of skills, you and your team.
Just me.
The drugs that you so daftly returned. How you got them, I don't know. But it has come to my attention that the Consortium is running them for him. Or was, back into Taoan, delivering completed drugs in exchange for unprocessed ones. As somebody that has, say, visited Taoan.
That's a rumor.
She says, I only deal in rumors.
Clearly.
I'd like to know, can the plant still process the Umbria? Meaning, can they bring it to the surface?
What's it worth to you?
A lot, if it's true. I'm interested in, say, plotting a new course for my vessel.
A course to the Talon system?
No. A course to, say, intercept the next batch.
Talk numbers or talk favors?
She says, well, you and I both know we just got paid, so I know you don't need the money.
I mean...
What kind of favor can I do for you?
Ooh, shit.
You and her stand far too close in an alleyway.
Okay, so from perspective-wise, based on what I've seen of her before and I know what she's doing kind of now, do I feel like she's more spy or more Sewell? Right? Like, does she feel like an assassin, or does she feel like a intelligence gatherer?
She's a pirate.
Okay.
She's a pirate.
I don't need it.
Based on what she's talking about and everything that you know about her, she has some similar skills, right? She clearly worked her way in and stole what she needed, these kinds of things, but she was clearly posing aboard the space station, made her way back here after you all left. However, she managed to do that with the powder in hand, which is interesting because when the powder went missing, you saw her dancing before you left, which means she had a team of people helping her out. And yeah.
He says, I need information, and I'm too busy to get it myself.
She says, I'm so good at working information out of people.
Great. You have your data pad?
She says, why would I need such a item?
Do you just want to trust my information?
She goes, do you not trust me with your information?
I don't trust you as far as I could throw you.
Good, then your instinct... She says, well, at least your instincts are worth it.
Okay, great. I need
what kind of
everything
information?
you can find on the Mysticide. Everything you can find on the Mysticide.
And why would a little...
That's not part of the deal.
Rat be interested in such vulgar information?
Not part of the deal. You want information on the mining colony? I want information on the Mysticide.
She leans in and kind of whispers in your ear.
Ugh.
I can tell you that the guards are not what they seem. More importantly, it is not the Order of the Para who plagues Coriolis. As for information on the mystics, Do you seek names? I didn't think you dealt in people.
Oh, shit. What exactly did the judge ask us to do? Remind me.
All the judge asked you to do was to take up his offer, which simply was to, he hasn't given you the actual mission yet, to do some kind of mission for him and return the emissary. Okay. They believe that that there is unrest and some infiltration that has happened in the security aboard Coriolis. So they are taking it into their own hands to find a team of people that can find out further who's infiltrating and why people are going missing. And they believe it's all connected to the missing emissary. That's about all he gave you for now. He's going to give you a proper mission, which obviously will be to go to the jungles of Kua, but that hasn't come through yet. Not for you anyways. Yeah. She says, you seem speechless. I understand.
I wasn't ready for names of mystics.
I know. She kind of puts her finger and she says, how about this? She flicks something out of her sleeve. It seems to be a calling card of sorts. It shimmers in her hands. Call me.
Like,
here's where you can find me. When you decide whatever information it is that you need, come let me know.
Like I'm picking up some kind of infectious thing. I like reach out and grab the card, and I kind of like flick it, and then I put it in my jacket and say, the Taoan system is offline. Everyone in the mining colony is dead. There is no more Umbria coming from there. You'll need a new source.
Interesting.
But that might return back to Hamura. And he like motions back towards the bar. Please stop following me.
At least you asked nicely.
And he like steps around her.
And as she kind of leans against a wall, kind of watching you leave, and she says, "Oh, tell Sul.
No.
His father would like to speak with him."
Okay. Is that it? Okay, great. And he starts to head back towards the ship.
A few people eye you as you leave the alleyway with what is very clearly a beautiful, seductive assassin and pirate.
If Malik notices, he winks at all of them.
A couple parents, again, like eyes away. It's the cellar. This kind of shit happens in alleyways all the time. But who you speak with is everything.
So you said the guards are not what they seem, and the Order of the Pariah is what now?
Order of the Pariah is not. It is not them who is doing this. The Order of the Pariah are not the people who are killing or making the mystics go missing. There is a lot as you walk around, and maybe now that you're really like not on a mission, you're beginning to notice, Malik, security has been upped. There's a lot of it. They're everywhere. Propaganda and news-related propaganda is posted all over the place. Missing persons reports, specifically in this area. And as you walk towards what is basically the Tran back to your vessel, you realize there's an area that has been blocked off. A crime scene. Very recent. Guards stand in a massive line blocking most of the vision and sight of this area. You can see the chalk lines where people have died. A woman sobs in the corner. Relatively fresh, within the last few hours, maybe. And one of the security officers says, "Go another way. This is blocked."
He's gonna go another way, but he's gonna definitely like rubberneck like anyone does at a crime scene and see what he can see in like a 3-second
Roll
window.
an observation.
Okay. Two successes.
You kind of peer. There was a firefight here. You can see the like blaster burns along the walls. Sketches of bodies that no longer are there, which means they've had a chance to kind of clean all of this up. Yeah. That's about all you can see.
Okay.
That's about what you can see. I mean, it's just a general crime scene.
Sure.
There are eight security officers standing guard on this crime scene.
You said it looked like bodies had been moved. Do I get a sense of how many?
4.
Okay.
4 dead bodies were traced on the ground, no longer there.
Got it.
And as you kind of look at all of this and take it in, there's a ping.
Of course.
On your data pad.
He's gonna walk away and then look at it.
Okay. Yeah, you walk off and you kind of swipe it to open it, and it's a message from somebody you've not heard from in a while, a doctor. The message simply says, I hope you get this when you return to Coriolis. They have moved me to the main station as I heal. For shits and giggles, it says XOXO.
Of course it does, doesn't it? Dot. You shit. You shit.
It's definitely the doctor.
Yeah. I don't like how things were left with Tamir, but also he's being a shit.
Get Joe Smooches.
I'm gonna go see the doctor.
Yeah.
Because we
Why don't you
need
get healed up a bit, buddy.
We need one on our ship.
I love that you're going to see this woman
with us.
Not because you like her, but because the ship needs a new asset.
Listen. Listen.
She is healing still.
Malik has strong points. They just happen to mostly be bad. Okay?
For the sake of time, you make your way down to the medical end of Coriolis, which is part of like the core. So most people can be served. There's some private hospitals, but those are reserved for people in the spire. And you arrive at what is basically a front desk. A quaint older woman says, "How can I help you?"
Yeah, I'm here to see Lamara.
Oh, yes, of course. She kind of looks at you, her eyes. She says, she'll be on the 3rd floor.
What was that look?
Nothing at all.
I don't believe you. How's her situation?
She's healing up nicely. But it sure would be a lot easier if she would stop telling the doctors how to do their jobs.
Well, she is a chief medicurge. So, I mean, when can she be released?
As soon as somebody signs her out.
Oh. How convenient. Thank you. 3rd floor?
Yes.
Okay.
She nods and kind of watches you leave. You hit the elevators. You go to hit the button that leads you to the 3rd floor.
You know, Dot, what is this look that she's giving me?
A look of like, nobody's visited this woman. You're the first person.
Is it like a nasty look? Is she giving me some nasty looks?
It's not nasty.
It
It's
sounds
more
like a nasty look.
It's not a nasty look. It's like gossip. It's like Gossip Girl. She like leans over one to like note that you're going to see her, but 2, there's a high level of interest in your exit, but it's not a nasty look. And as you ping the elevator button to the 3rd floor,
Malik wants drama right now.
as you hit the button to the 3rd floor, it says psych ward.
Great. Then in that case, so I think he gets in and hits the button, right? He gets in, he's about to say something, and then hits the button and sees it. And then he just closes, you hear that like snap of his mouth close as he swallows his words and hits the button.
It opens up to a open lobby floor, and another desk. A gentleman once again says, "How can I help you?"
I'm here for Medicurge Lumara.
Right.
That's the 2nd look I've gotten.
That way. He points.
No elaboration, huh?
Room 26.
Great. And he like lingers and looks at the guy for like an extra second and then walks off to room 28.
26.
26.
You open 28 and it's definitely a dude that's chewing on his own tongue. And you quickly close the door and realize you're the wrong one.
Yep.
And move to 26, where Do you knock? Do you just open the door?
I open the door.
You just swing the door open.
Yeah.
There she is. Her hair is a little unkept. It stands on ends in certain places. She's without makeup because they probably don't allow her to have any here. She wears basic scrubs, like issued white scrubs for everybody that's in here. And she sits attached to an IV. They're still pumping her with some fluids and stuff. And as you open the door, her eyes get wide. And she says, Malik, I knew you'd come back.
Oh, of course. I heard you were here on the station.
I told them my boyfriend would be back.
Oh, that's a strong term we're using.
She says, I'm so glad you're here. And she stands up, and you can tell she's still holding her side a little bit. She moves a little slower. And she says, please come in. I've been waiting for you.
You look like you're a little tied up.
She says, no, they took me out of the straitjacket last week.
What's that about? He's still in the doorway. Door open.
I'm not entirely sure. The doctors say that something about I'm not well.
In what way? What happened after the whole?
I don't know. I told them if they used 2-week stitches instead of 1-week stitches, it would heal up so much faster.
Sure.
But they didn't really want to listen to me. And then when I started talking nonsense about well, since I started talking nonsense, they put me in a jacket and said I was maybe a harm to myself and others.
Let's rewind that tape real quick. Oh, nonsense about what?
Oh, nothing. Sometimes I just like to talk. You know that.
But about what though?
Well, different things.
Like?
Nobody believed you existed.
Okay. And other things?
Yeah, things.
No, what are they?
Do we have to talk about that right now? How are you?
I have some follow-up questions, but I would like to know...
Well, she says... Well, the ghosts, of course.
The ghosts?
Mm-hmm. I see them all over the place.
What do they look like?
Ghosts.
Yeah, but like... white sheet, ooh, or like,
Why would they wear a sheet?
I don't know. I don't see them.
She says, no, something happened. As I was bleeding out on that sterile floor on the side of the...
No, I remember.
Remember?
Yep, I put
Great.
a lot of parts back in. Mm-hmm.
I know. I really appreciate that. And she kisses you on the cheek.
Okay.
And she says, but I told them my boyfriend saved my life, and nobody wanted to believe me. They all said that I was crazy and that you didn't exist. But now I can prove it to him. She says, but about the ghost, as I was bleeding out on that floor, I remember seeing this darkness. It kind of crept in, and for a second, I'm pretty sure I actually died. Yeah. And then when I came back, when you resuscitated me and all of that.
I recall.
When I woke up, I just kind of, I could see things.
Oh. How do you feel about space travel?
Well, I mean, they shipped me to the station, and then they shipped me back here. That's about as much as I've ever gone through.
Do you know where you are currently?
Well, yeah.
No, what the third floor is.
I'm in ICU.
No, that's the second floor.
I am on the second floor.
You're on the third floor. I just took the elevator.
That's silly. The doctors told me that I was resting in ICU.
You're not.
What do you mean?
They don't really put straitjackets on people in the ICU. They put them on the third floor, which is the...
other ICU?
Nope. Come on, you're a great doctor. What goes on straitjackets?
I don't know. I'm a trauma and surgical doctor.
But,
they told me that
you attended
as soon as
school here on Coriolis because there's no schools on Hamura. So what's on the third floor?
She kind of sits down and thinks. I don't know, maybe. I don't know. She knows.
Great. So being on the 3rd floor, chances are they're probably not going to send you back to Hamura to be chief medicurge, right?
No, they told me I could have a job here when I was better.
Great. How about a job not here?
Like, where?
On a ship.
Ships don't have jobs.
I work on a ship as of 45 minutes ago.
Well, I thought... Okay. Are you asking me to come be on your ship?
It's not my ship, and we need a doctor on it. And you're as close as we're gonna get for free.
So you are inviting me to come live on your ship?
He stands there for a second,
I hope
realizing...
you're rethinking this, Malik.
He's standing there for a second, realizing that there's only 4
Yes.
rooms on the ship.
Yes.
He's
Yes.
like,
Yes.
He's like, we almost died.
Oh,
This-
I know. I did die.
Oh, no,
Do you know that there's nothing on the other side?
Let's, and so like Malik has this like, there's like, and there's like the aggressive gin and the bright white gin, and he's like, well, everyone almost died, like half your crew almost died, and no one can use any kind of technology in the medical bay. I don't even know why they have the medical bay. Me neither. She is a doctor. Only 4 rooms. Ooh. As this goes back and forth, as he's trying to weigh whether, because like, there's no way she's gonna sleep in any other room or let him sleep anywhere but his own room. But we also need a doctor, and we have no idea what Judge Crazy Pants on the fucking 75th floor is gonna have us do. So I think Malik, he goes, yeah, I'm. If you're open to being the doctor on the ship that I work on, we could possibly use a doctor.
Do you think they'll let me out of here? They said that I have to have somebody sign for release.
They did say that, and I could sign, probably. My hand works.
You would get me out of here?
Yeah, but you gotta sleep in the cryo tubes. Is that...
Well, isn't that where most people sleep on ships? That's the only place I've ever slept as we done space travel.
Yes. Yes, it is where most people sleep.
Do you have a cryopod?
They're only one person. So you can't get 2 in there.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
You're telling me.
Well, maybe we could get an upgrade.
We'll have to look into that, but for now we have an important thing.
She goes, okay, let me get my stuff. And she looks around. She has nothing.
Yep.
Maybe for the first time, Malik, you're looking around as she tries to, like, gather her stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And you realize that she has drawn and colored and written some things along the wall.
Ooh, yeah.
There's like a
Cool.
section of her like personal bulletin board. It might be considered a vision board.
Gross.
Vision
Hate that.
board.
Hate the quotes about that.
As you go over to her, and she says, "Well, I think I got everything, and the only thing she has is a medical bag and a scalpel."
Good enough. Malik walks to the center of the room real quick, and he has a personal holograph. So he's gonna hit that and like make the little boop kind of come up, and then take like a digital picture of the room as a holograph, and then boop back down, so he can kind of recreate the crazy doodles that Dr. Crazy Pants has made.
Okay. And as she stands there, scalpel, medical bag, it's probably empty. I doubt that they even know she has this scalpel.
Yeah.
There's no telling where she hid it. And as you turn, you realize on her bedside table is a framed picture, a drawing of you.
Great.
That she has been keeping on her bedside.
We're gonna leave that one right there.
And she says, "Okay, I'm ready." Oh,
Great.
she goes, wait. She puts the scalpel in this empty bag, and you watch as she pulls her own IV from her arm. And she goes, "Okay, now I'm ready."
Yes.
A drop of blood plunks to the floor.
Good. Yes.
She goes, okay. She loops her arm in yours.
I was going to say, Malik sighs and puts his arm out.
She looks so happy, and she squeezes you tight as a freshman going to senior prom, as you walk her in her white crazy scrubs down the hallway to sign her out of the psych ward.
I see the orderly who gave me a look, and I say, I'd like to sign out this patient, please. I was told that...
The man goes, we didn't think you existed. Well, I'm glad you came to claim her.
Thank you. That's a weird way to talk about...
She goes, I told you I had a boyfriend, and now we're going to share a cryo chamber.
No, we're not going to do that.
And the man says, of course you are. And he slides you kind of like a data clipboard, in essence, that requires your signature at the bottom.
He signs it.
Do you read it?
Yeah, actually, no, what does it say?
It says that you take full responsibility as now a legal guardian of an insane mental patient. You are checking her out of the Coriolis insane asylum, and if she causes any problems, illegal or not, you are responsible.
He looks at it and signs it.
She says, I can't wait for him to sign our marriage certificate one day.
Ooh, boy. Anyway.
She says, come on, show me the ship.
And he opens the door. Like he's like click 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 on the elevator.
And the two of you, she doesn't even change clothes. You walk her across Coriolis in her white crazy scrubs all the way back to the ship. Yeah,
and no one stops us to talk because there's a crazy person.
Everybody looks at you a lot.
He nods.
And the four of you, over the course of probably 6 to 8 hours, reconvene back at your vessel in the spire. The two guards still wait outside. They do not stop any of you from entering, except for the doctor.
Do we see her approach?
Well, they stop her. The guards step in and she tries to enter, and they say, we don't know of your fifth.
New crewmate just hired, the doctor. We needed a crew doctor.
Right. And they step apart, not questioning that at all. They just needed an explanation. And in you walk. And when you enter the main area of the vessel, you see your 3 crewmates, possibly just recently having arrived. And there is the doctor.
Tal's fresh from the shower.
Malik puts a hand up and says, the second room on the right, just get familiar with the space. And just sort of pushes
you mean our cryo chamber?
Nope, that's the medical bay.
Oh, right, of course. And she kind of bops away down the hallway. You hear the door like, tss, and she enters, and all you hear before the door closes is, ooh.
Okay, let me explain.
Are you fucking out of your mind?
First of all, several of you almost died.
First of all, what is she wearing?
It's the new... I'll explain. First of all, most of you almost died. None of us can use that entire room, okay? We barely know how to use... I don't know what Tamir did. I think he just...
There's a crash of glass. Oops.
Okay, so she died a little bit when we saved her. Also, judgy faces, I think... And he makes so the door of the ship closes. I'm pretty sure she's a mystic. So if we leave her here, Dr. Crazy Pants is probably going to get murdered in the psych ward. So...
Why is it our responsibility?
Either we have no doctor and one of us probably dies, or we have Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs and we
might still fucking die.
At least we have a 50-50 shot.
There's the door open and all you see is her head broken. She goes, Malik, this is so much better than I could have ever asked for.
You're so welcome.
She goes, I love you.
No.
When she opens the door, I can imagine all 3 of us doing argument, and then she opens the door, and we're like,
yeah, exactly. You all hit poses as the door. She goes, I love you.
What the fuck?
That escalated
I don't
quickly.
know. I can't explain that part.
How long were we here?
Like a couple hours. I found it. I got a text message. I
Damn,
think she
quick.
stole someone's phone. I don't know what happened here. Either way, we needed a doctor because we have no idea what we're doing.
I can't pay her.
Nope, she's a crazy pants, and now she doesn't need money. So she just lives here now. Also, she sleeps in a cryo chamber, so feel free to lock her in.
Malik, I think you just did a very good thing.
I don't know what
saved
just
her life.
I'll take it at this point.
Saul's just dumbfounded. He's just like,
All of you stand with your mouths agape as yep.
I really, really wish you would stop acting like you're the captain of this ship.
and I look at like how, I mean,
No, he's not.
she is a doctor.
Yes, but he needs to stop making decisions for me. This is my
Yeah.
ship, and I decide who comes in here.
At that, the doorbell rings. The intercom pops up, and you hear the doot 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 doot.
I think.
Yes.
Okay.
You swipe it, and it comes on. It's not a face that any of you know, except for Sewell.
Oh, no.
Your father stands at the door, and we'll find out what he wants next week because we're way over time.
We are so over time, but oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
Fuck Soul's daddy.
No, thank you.
So many
suit.
loose ends on Coriolis.
Can the last line just be like the face pops up and Malik goes, "Oh, your dad wanted to see you."
Yes, exactly. Oh, by the way, your dad wanted to see you, and he's here.
Oh,
I'm so sorry we went so over, but today's
Dobie,
episode.
we're here for it. Everyone
No,
signed
don't.
on.
Yeah.
And now I get to play a crazy doctor forever.
Yeah, I knew you wanted that.
For all of you at home, here are our bars that we used tonight. First one was cashed in to drop an ancient, evil demon djinn aboard Coriolis that now is walking around spreading the darkness. Let's see, what was the second one was, God, so many things happened. The second one was the reappearance of our dancer and
fuck.
her arriving before with the drugs, causing issues for Malik.
I wonder what the third one is.
Crazy doctor.
Oh, shocker.
Crazy doctor.
She doesn't need any corruption bar or darkness
Yes,
points to bring your
yes.
dad in. That's
She
just...
wasn't gonna be crazy. She was just gonna be
That's
here.
what I figured.
And I decided to simmer on it, and she
I
is
love it.
now obsessed with Malik, having saved her life and brought her back from the dead.
I mean, who isn't really?
The questions we ask ourselves.
People.
That being said, this was a fucking roller coaster. Let's go around, do our introductions so we can all decompress and we'll get the hell out of here. We will start with the person who hates Malik the most. Aris, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet, and what are you up to?
I was gonna say, who hates Malik the most? I don't know. We need to have a poll, maybe. Hi, I'm Aris Savad. I make stuff. I make a lot of stuff. I make a lot of dice trays and gaming accessories and travel stuff. You can find all that at arisavad.com. I also play a lot of RPGs, like a lot. On Sunday, you'll be able to find me at 4 p.m. Eastern Time on Open for Adventures channel, where I'm playing a 5th edition homebrew campaign that's super duper fun, and I look forward to every Sunday because of it. On Tuesdays, yes, you can find me, actually, I think finale's next week, right? On Tuesday, you can catch me on the finale of Heim, which is a North Sea epilogue campaign, at 7 p.m. 7 p.m. Eastern on Little Red Dots channel.
Yeah, 2 finales next week for us. In the same place, Eris.
Oh my gosh.
Uh,
It's not in the same place, though. We're in 2 different channels.
I guess that's true.
true.
We will be in the same place, though. Yeah.
I do all my work from here. I've been here all day.
That's true. Speaking of Little Red Dot and all the things she does, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet, and what are you up to?
I'm Little Red Dot. You can find me closing out that same campaign she was just talking about over on my channel on Tuesday night. More importantly, tomorrow, you can find me playing the brand new Animal Crossing game. So come hang out for an extended Animal Crossing stream. Right now in my life, when I'm not busy streaming on my own channel or hanging out here on Thursdays with this incredible group of folks, I'm currently running a brand new Twitch channel for the theater that I work for, thanks to this lovely quarantine that we're all under, my theater has had to shut its doors. So we are moving to a digital platform. And tomorrow night, we have our first rebroadcast of shows from the past, our past 25 years. So free theater, come check it out. Written and performed by incredible comedians and improvisers here out of Atlanta. So that is called Dad's Garage, and you can find us at twitch.tv/Dad's Garage ATL. Yeah. Those are the big things. Big stuff. That's big stuff.
Dot, if you want to drop that link in chat, you're more than welcome to. In the meantime, Paul, what are you up to? Where can we find you on the internet? And that's it, I think. Who are you? Where are you up to? And where can we find you on the internet?
What to do, though? My name is Paul, a.k.a. In123. I play Saul and the assassin. You can find me at In123 on Twitter. I have a one-on-one podcast coming out hopefully sometime next month. We're recording some more episodes and gonna try to get some backlogs of it.
Hell yeah.
Called Athena's Odyssey. I'll type that in later, but it's Athena's Odyssey. It's a one-on-one D&D with me and my girlfriend as she learns how to play D&D and I learn how to DM. Other than that, you can find me Hizer on Thursday playing Space. And yeah, next week I'm gonna be talking to my dad. And speaking of dads, I don't want to.
Yeah, I know, right? Man, that's gonna be a rough day for you.
I just want to say I was gonna segue into something, but I realized that it's not mine, so I didn't do it. So you fuckers better pick up on that. Just saying.
Daddies.
I mean, are you talking about Hot Dice Daddies?
Yes, I am.
Because I mean, speaking of Hot Dice Daddies, from one hard dice daddy to one soft dice daddy, Gnome, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? And what are you up to?
No. My name is Noam. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram. I'm here on Thursdays playing space games. I'm also making a podcast about more Coriolis space games called We Never Left. I'm on the Rest of the Demigods podcast that's not about space, but there are space elements because there's a big giant green comet that totally looks like it's going to kill us, and Astra's daddy is the moon. So, you know, space.
Easy.
Yeah. And I guess I'm on a show called Hot Dice Daddies. You know, whatever, it's fine.
And just remind me, what do we do on Hot Dice Daddies, the podcast?
Please don't talk like that. Just stop.
So Hot Dice Daddies is a quick little podcast between two really hot dice daddies interviewing other hot dice daddies about the dice that they love and the stories they tell with them. Check it out. First episode's coming out soon.
You can find us on patreon.com/hotdicedaddies, as well as Twitter and Twitch.
That being said, that is one of the two new podcasts that I have in the works with Gnome. The other is the Dark Fortunes podcast on Twitter at Dark Fortunes Pod is our D&D 5e podcast. He's in Humblewood. Gnome is the editor. He does an outstanding job, so go check both of those things out. Sign up, do all that fun stuff, and stay tuned for more nonsense from us, I guess. And if you like what you see here and all the nonsense we create, go check us out on Patreon. If you want to chat about it, go check us out in Discord. Links for both of those things down below, and we will see you next week for the finale. It is nonsense. For the finale.
I feel like I weaved a very clear, non-nonsense story.
That ended with Dr. Cuckoo Pants. Anyway, we will see you next week for the season finale of Season 1 of Void.
We're gonna die.
So, from all of us to you.
No! We're not spending any more money on art.